Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Q and Colb, the show where we and Colb talk about things. That's the intro. We're gonna talk about football. We're gonna talk about coaches on the hot seat. We're gonna talk about the NBA. We're gonna get through it all. But let's talk about me and Colb's favorite football team. Unfortunately, Cole still came on here strong with the shirt. Right, that's a bold move. Right, brother came out here with the shirt, like rocking it. Okay, you know. But the Browns are in a tough spot, and I had a realization watching this game on Sunday, and I think it was when Taysom Hill scored his third touchdown, which is a ridiculous statement that I have to come out here and make. That this season's going to have consequences if it does not dramatically shift around, and the odds of this season dramatically shifting around just seems very unlikely at this point because of how this team has played up to this point. Now, they play Pittsburgh at home on Thursday. They haven't lost a home Thursday night game for Pittsburgh in a while, but that doesn't mean they're immune to losing against them. And then Pittsburgh is obviously playing some of their best football, fresh off a victory off the Ravens. Who knows what's going to happen in that game? I think a lot of people, the Browns are probably not favored, like not even close.
Absolutely not favored.
Yeah,
absolutely not
in that game. A lot of conversation about the hot seat with Kevin Stefanski. Now, I want to start this conversation off by saying two things can be true. Kevin Stefanski is a two-time coach of the year. He is the best coach the team has had, probably going all the way back to Schottenheimer, right? You look at the record of all those guys going all the way back, not just since 99, but all the way back to Schottenheimer. The Browns were, up until this season, at a better place with him as head coach than they had been the previous years before he was there. I think all of that is true and should be considered. Another thing to consider: look at the list of coaches who have gotten fired when their win percentage dips below 300. I think I did a video on this. You know what got Bill Belichick finally out of there? He went under 300. You know what got Andy Reid fired in Philadelphia? He went under 300. Right? Todd Bowles, Doug Peterson, 2 years after he won the Super Bowl, got fired, went under 300. Going under 300 is not good. Now, I think a couple of coaches have gone under 300, kept their job. Kyle Shanahan, the year they had all those injuries in 2019. 2018, my bad. And then, who was it? Sean McVay, I think the year after they won the Super Bowl when they had all those injuries, he survived it. Those are two active coaches that have lived through, or active long-term coaches that have lived through a sub 300 win percentage season. So it does happen. But usually there's an extenuating circumstance. We'll talk about if Watson qualifies as that for Kevin Stefanski. So, yes, should Kevin have some kind of cushion because of what he's been able to accomplish? I do think that's fair. Does that cushion include falling through the bottom of this season in the way that it looks like they're going to fall through it? I don't think that is the case. Like, even if you were a Super Bowl champion, this is something that puts you on the hot seat. So that's where I'm at with Kevin. I like Kevin. I think Kevin can be a good head coach. Maybe if he gets a job somewhere else, he'll be successful. But the issue is that a head coach is supposed to provide a floor. Like, the culture is the whole thing that we talk about, the head coach culture, and then whatever they bring to the table as a coach itself, right? That's supposed to provide you a floor. And that floor should be, worst case scenario, you're winning 5-6 games, right? The Browns would have to go on a crazy run right now to get the 5 or 6 wins. That would include going 4-7, beating at least the Chiefs or the Steelers, maybe even having to beat the Steelers twice. A red-hot Broncos team. Like, I don't see it. So, if you can't provide that floor, then people are going to start looking at you like, hey, what do you provide? Nobody wants to be here right now having this conversation about Kevin. Like, nobody wants to be. Well, there are some people who do want to be here. Let's be honest about that. But nobody wanted to actually be here, man. Like, me and Cole did not start the season off like, man, I hope they get his ass up out of there, right? Like, this wasn't JB Bickerstaff halfway through last season. This is something where we're dreading it. Like, we know it's here and it's possible, and we still are like, man, hopefully it don't happen.
Listen, it's not even possible at this point. We're talking probable.
Yes.
At this point in time, that this man might not be a 2-time Coach of the Year with the Cleveland Browns is probably going to get fired. And this is what I need people to understand. Because people have argued this, and you've heard this, and we just talked about it. You're going to fire Kevin after one down year, and I need people to understand something. When they were 7-10 in 2022, that's a down year. When they were 8-9 in 2021, that is a down year. They are staring down a 2-15 season. That's not a down year. That is a disaster. You cannot survive. No coach is going to survive going 2-15 with a roster that is the most expensive roster in the NFL, mind you, and that had real Super Bowl expectations coming into the season. He's not going to survive it. He's just not going to survive it.
I don't want to say it definitively, right? Because there is the X factor in here, which is Deshaun Watson was so much more ass than anybody thought he would be. Like, truthfully. Like, nobody thought Watson was going to be, like, this bad. We all thought coming into the season, the reasonable take on Watson coming into the season was, at worst, he beat mediocre.
Yeah.
He was not even mediocre on his best day in 2024.
Terrible.
Like,
all-time bad.
Dog, we were comparing it to quarterbacks who played for the Browns in 2011.
And they were better.
Yeah. and that's the thing that I think, I don't know how this whole Watson thing shook out. I don't really care who pushed for the trade, because the dude that we thought we were trading for clearly did not show up in Cleveland once the trade happened. You can't anticipate. It's hard to anticipate that kind of a fall off happening, right? Like, I understand it. 12 teams were looking for him. I'm not going to be mad at you for making the move when you did it, thinking that Deshaun Watson was who you thought he was, because nobody saw this coming for Deshaun Watson. Nobody saw it coming, right? So, okay, you made the move. My question is, okay, after we knew the move was ass, and I would say the Commanders game was pretty much that point, right? I think it was undeniable at that point when me and you could do a show for 2 hours. We're just looking at 5 plays and just laughing at it. That is undeniable. I still get texts to this day from people like, yeah, man, like that time you showed that play where everybody was open was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. That's my favorite show we've done, because we had a whole plan. Y'all don't understand. We had a whole rundown and a whole plan coming into that episode. And as soon as we saw that play, we couldn't even think about anything.
Yeah. Yes. My man got memed on all 22. You know how hard that is to do? Like, especially when people like ain't just like screenshotting you. Like, you know, like that's easy. Like, people can screenshot some bullshit and that could turn into like, nah, man, we was playing video. Like, we was counting the steps. Like,
we didn't even care about monetization at that point. You was like, you know what, man? No, we need to talk about this.
Yeah. So week 4, after the Commanders game, that was the point to where everybody should know this was not going to be redeemed. Whatever happened to him with that shoulder injury, it had done his damage, right? The question to me is, who pushed for those extra 3 weeks? Right? Like, if that was not Kevin pushing for those extra 3 weeks, if Kevin was actively saying, no, we should have pushed for those extra 3 weeks, then I think Kevin can get a little like not a full pass, but like hey man, you go out there, you get to 300 with Jameis and your 10 starts with him. Ain't nobody gonna give it away. We ain't gonna fuck it. Like, it is what it is. We just gonna look the other way on this one, right? Still gonna be on the hot seat for next year if he starts off slow, but not gonna get fired this offseason. If he was like pushing to keep Watson out there, and we truly don't know what the conversation was. We don't even know if Jimmy Haslam was involved like that. We just be wanting to think that because it's easy to blame Jimmy, right? Like that is the simplest solution is blame Jimmy. It's all on Jimmy. That way the people that we think are competent in this situation aren't proven to be incompetent, and we can keep on just as long as we keep Jimmy out the decision-making process. I don't know if it's that simple. Jimmy Haslam, this has not had the fingerprints of like a Jimmy Haslam's hovering over the team thing, right? Usually we hear all kind of fucking reports about how Jimmy's in the film room and doing all this with Jimmy's out here meddling. We see Jimmy at the games and all this.
On the sideline and stuff, talking to people, doing stuff.
Yeah, doing interviews when he don't need to do no interviews. We know when Jimmy trying to put his finger on the scale here. We lived through Jimmy putting his finger on the scale. This don't feel like it. Now, maybe Jimmy's playing it smart here and he realized that this Watson thing is a disaster. People associated with him and he's just, making himself scarce. That could also be the case. There's a million different ways this could have played out behind the scenes. The Watson thing, I think, does matter. Because if you're going to fire him on win-loss record, you have to acknowledge that Watson is a huge part of the reason why this win-loss record is so bad. Because he tanked the most winnable part of the season, right? I do think the Browns would have at least got 5 wins or would have been 500 by the end of close to 500 at the week 7 if Watson doesn't start the season.
I got to look at the schedule. Hold on, let me see. Now I want to play. Now I want to play the game.
What about game?
If they would have started Jameis from the beginning of the year.
And keep in mind, it's an incredible stat, but I think Jameis has almost surpassed him with passing yards. He's definitely passed him in passing touchdowns.
Like I want.
My man's played 3 games. And
you know what? What really made me feel depressed? You know what made me really feel depressed on Sunday? Jameis threw for 395.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns, no picks. Legitimately either the best or second best performance from a Cleveland Browns quarterback all year, and they still got smoked, bruh.
Yeah, the defense didn't show up.
They still got smoked, man. Like, what do you even say at that point? What do you even say to people at that point? Like, I can't even advocate for the team when we've complained about quarterback play for so long, and then you get a good quarterback performance, and y'all just get smoked, man. Like, what do I even like? There's
Jameis
nothing
already over 1,000 passing yards.
Bring him back next year. Who cares?
Already over 1,000 passing yards.
Just bring Jameis back, man.
7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I had people like, oh yeah, changing the shot out would have changed nothing. I feel like our record wouldn't be this bad. I feel like if our record wasn't this bad, the defense would play with a little bit more effort. I don't know, man. I think it's credible.
No, but okay, so Cowboys game, they lost 30.
You're losing that one. You're definitely still beating Jacksonville. I think you beat the Giants. Because remember, the Browns had 4 chances to take the lead against the Giants in the fourth.
Yeah,
quarter.
we beat the
Giants. The Raiders, I don't know if that one was 100% on Watson, right? Like that one was on you just had some weird, goofy bullshit going on in that game. The 2 holding penalties that negated 2 touchdowns. Like, I will say, I think you're probably 2-2 after the Raiders game. I think that God didn't want you to win that one.
I don't know, man, because I'm looking at these stats from Deshaun, and he actually did not play bad that game. I think Jameis could have got a little bit more out of this team.
The thing about that game, I think Deshaun had an 89 or 88 PFF grade for that game. I remember watching it take me not the week to blame him. Absolutely not. Not the week. He actually did stuff this week. He never looked like that again, but he actually did stuff. Commanders.
That's the one where
man, he was so bad in that game. I have no clue what would have happened if we had a different quarterback.
Because there were plays to be made all over the field.
All over the field. But let's just say Commanders are playing good football, then maybe the Browns score more points, make it close, but they don't win that one, right? So you're 2-3. The Eagles, I 1,000% believe you beat the Eagles.
100% they would have won that game.
Yeah.
100% they would have won. I'm not going to lie to you. They would have beat the Bengals next week, too, if Jameis started the entire time.
Okay, that's where we're at, right? So we got 4 wins. If you start Jameis, and then Jameis beats the Ravens, that's 5.
So that's 5.
You see what I mean? Why this Watson thing does kind of matter, because if you get to 5 wins and you lose out for the rest of the year, or whatever it happens, or you get to 6 or 7 wins, we're not talking about firing Kevin.
No, you would blame all of this on Deshaun, and you would just move over and just move.
Well, I'm saying like if Deshaun never played, right, or if Deshaun was like mediocre, like Jameis is mediocre right now, like this is where you would be at if you had even the low end of what you were expecting from Watson, which makes it hard for me to be like, yeah, man, Kevin's absolutely got to go, because it doesn't feel like he's the part of the problem that needs to be fixed, right? Like, to me, I'm like, I look at this team, I'm like, you know what needs to be fixed? Quarterback, interior offensive line. Like, I don't know. It's a tough one, because it definitely feels like if Kevin gets fired, he's definitely more of a fall guy. But he's in a position where the win-loss record is so bad that it can't really be a surprise if he gets fired. But how responsible is he for that win-loss record, given that we really think that legitimately like 3-4 of these games are on horrific quarterback play that you got earlier this season? Like, quarterback play so bad that it's clearly being lapped in 3 games by Jameis Winston. And no disrespect to Jameis Winston. Y'all know I'm Jameis Winston, not stan. I don't stan anybody, but you know, I've been a supporter of the Jameis Winstons of the world, the ACC quarterbacks of the world. You know, I'm always go hard for my Jameis Winston. We brought Jameis Winston the ideal of him coming up last year. Right? Did. Like, we are early supporters on this Jameis Winston thing, but it's important to understand that Jameis Winston is not like that. He should not be out here lapping your starting quarterback after 3 starts when that dude started 7 games.
Yeah, man, it's bad. I don't really know. That's
not a testament to how great Jameis is. That's more of a testament to how bad Deshaun was. And or how poorly he executed the offense, because clearly there are yards to be made there, because Jameis has 1,000 of them in 3 games. like we couldn't get over 200.
Look, he
has over 8,000.
He had 7 touchdowns in 3 games. Even with the game where he threw a bunch of picks.
Hey, got over 200.
I would much rather have him.
We saw on Sunday night, Chargers defense is like that.
That's a good defense. Great defense.
Apparently, they're like that. Like, apparently, that's not normal defense that you went up against there, right? Like, I don't like, the offense isn't the part of the team right now that's super underperforming. Like, the defense underperformed this last week. It's just an overall thing that this team has, and it's the record to add on top of it, and it's the funk of Deshaun Watson on top of it. And I really think the person you ought to fire is the person who's responsible for, like, not bringing Deshaun Watson on, but really pushing that Deshaun Watson thing continuing, right? Like, if that was Jimmy and you fired Kevin, I'm scared to death they're going to hire somebody to try to fix Deshaun again. Like, could you imagine that? Dude comes in talking about how we going to work with Deshaun?
No, I think, and no coach is going to take that job if the requirement of the job is, I need you to figure out what you like. How can you fix this, Deshaun Watson?
No good candidate is going to take that. No candidate with options is going to take that job. But if you offer that shit to somebody like Press Taylor, he'll take it. He ain't got no fucking options. like, yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That to me is they're gonna hire Bill O'Brien, right? Like. I should not joke, because I said that same joke about Chip Kelly at Ohio State. That shit happened. Let me not joke about these things.
Can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that to me, because like if you don't fix that, right? If I could be cool with everything that happened this season as long as we are understood. I know you can't cut him, but as long as it's understood that we are moving away clearly from the Deshaun Watson era. And maybe this is why I want to draft the quarterback, just so it can be obvious that this is done. Right? Like, I think you need to draft the quarterback for other reasons, but I think what also would be helpful is that you would send a smoke signal to your fan base, like, hey, dog, this shit about to end. Like, we drafted the quarterback in the first 2 rounds. Like, hey, we're moving on, right? Because I don't think people want to sit through another year with Deshaun Watson.
People are going to do it. I've been saying this for the longest. If they at any point suggest in a serious way that Deshaun Watson is going to be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns next year, people are not tuning in for that. I'm not tuning in for that, dog. I'm sorry.
If they announce that he's going to be the starting quarterback and like his backup is DTR.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Like that's everybody's going to be out. Right. Now if he's the starting quarterback, which like it's going to be hard for him to be the day one starting quarterback, to be honest, because he's not going to be back day one. I know people are trying to tell me, oh, he's going to come back like Aaron Rodgers. Okay, no. Sure. We'll see. No. We'll see what happens with that.
Do you even want that? Have you seen what the Jets look like right now? Do you want that right now? Honestly, is that what you want? Him to look like Aaron Rodgers on a Jets team?
Yeah, and people keep telling me like, oh, it's going to be like Kirk Cousins came back. I'm like, do you watch Deshaun Watson and Kirk Cousins play football? Because like, what about them saying their recovery standards are the same?
The Falcons have a good record. Kirk ain't look like Kirk. He look like the Kirk I know.
Hey man, I was thinking about it because I think I was talking to Jack and he was talking about like trading for Kirk Cousins. I was like, it sounded good at the time, but now I'm thinking about like, are we just trading for like that third team that had Joe Flacco? Right? like trading for Joe Flacco sounded like a good idea when he was leaving the Ravens. But like, do you want to be the team that traded for Joe Flacco after he left the Broncos? Right? Like,
which is also the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I don't want to be like the New York Jets, which is hilarious because they just fired their GM, and I've already seen people suggest that he should be the guy to replace Andrew Berry because hey, look, he's got an eye for talent. They drafted some good players over there. He also took Zach Wilson number 2 overall. That's all.
Yeah, man, I'm not trying to live through Cam Ward right now. Like, don't do this to me.
That's all I'm saying. He took Zach Wilson number 2. He did draft some good players, though. I will give him that. He drafted some good players. He really did. All
right, man. But like some of the good players he drafted, like we really got to evaluate this. He got Quentin Williams. That wasn't hard. And then came back around and got his brother. Now, that was a homeboy hire working out.
Listen, I'm saying, you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit. It worked out.
I don't think he was scouting. I think he was trying to I think he was doing what he needed to do. Right? It's like if you sign Giannis and then you get like Alex Antetokounmpo and it turns out to be good. It's like, oh, yeah, bonus money. Right? Like Isaiah Mobley. Do the Cavs really get credit if Isaiah Mobley turns into a productive player? Or do we know how that happened? That wasn't rigorous scouting. Like, that wasn't the process, the result of a rigorous scouting process. That was, hey, man, this dude good. He got a brother. Let's keep him happy. Let's do what we got to do. Okay.
He still be at the games. He still be at the games. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. All good.
That's all I'm saying. But I would not give Kobe Altman any scouting credibility for that because, like, that's not how that happened. You got lucky. Like straight up, you got lucky.
I don't even think it was luck. I think promises were made, and promises were made, and promises were kept. That's all.
Make sure the young fella, he from LA, right? Yeah, don't let him feel homesick, right? Like,
listen. I will be there.
Like, I don't know. He from LA. He might want to play for the Clippers. Like, that'd be a damn shame. You lose Evan Mobley to the goddamn Clippers.
Listen, let me tell you something. Evan Mobley ain't playing for no Clippers. He would either be a Cavalier, he'll be a Cavalier, or he'll be a Laker, and I'll be happy either way.
The Clippers really like had an opportunity to be so like they had so many people be like, I want to represent LA. Let me go to the Clippers, right? Russell Westbrook, who from there. They had everybody that was at the pop out concert up there, like Kawhi Leonard went back to LA. Who else? Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PG went back to LA.
They got James Harden right now.
They got James Harden right now. He ain't even from. Well, is he from the West Coast? He's from Arizona, right?
No, I think he's from LA.
He's from LA?
Yes.
Wow.
He's from LA.
He been in Houston so long. I thought he was from the South.
He's from LA.
He one of them dudes that moved there and they don't even have to be a transplant. It's like, yeah, bro, you from Houston. Like, wait, he's from LA?
Yes.
What? That's nuts. And they still can't get anybody in that city to care.
Tell you, man. That's a Laker town forever and always. Man,
you know what they got to do. We got any Spanish NBA players that are hooping?
I have to look it up.
Let me tell you, the only thing that'll get LA to drop the Clippers, to drop the Lakers, to root for the Clippers, if you have the first Los Angeles born or Mexican born super team in basketball right there. Because then all of a sudden you gonna get LA. Let me tell you something, dog. The Raiders have never lost LA. Okay? Nope. The Raiders have never lost LA. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to LA. Y'all know who be wearing the Raiders gear. All right.
The Dodgers will never lose LA either.
Nope. Never will lose LA. Yes. Okay. Look, why you think Kobe was out there wearing sombreros and LeBron came out there doing Taco Tuesday and all that shit? Same reason why YG got a song called Go Loco. We know who controls the market in LA. Like,
listen, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Hey, but before we move on and start talking about basketball, you know, we got to talk about. We got to talk about one. Yeah. We got to talk about Mike Vrabel.
What I want to dispel this idea that he's going to be the interim coach. No, he's not going to do that. No, that the Browns would have no interest in doing that, and it absolutely would not benefit Mike Vrabel to do that. I know we saw Doc Rivers do that, but Doc Rivers was at a point in his career where he kind of had to sneak his way on to a job to get that job, and he about to lose that job. Okay, that he snuck on to get. But man. I don't think that's how Mike Vrabel came about. I think Mike Vrabel was literally just trying to take a year, to figure out where he's going to go and what his next steps going to be. He from Ohio. He liked football. He liked football in Ohio. He played at Ohio State. So, he went to the football team in Ohio that would take him. And then that's that. But let's talk about this Mike Vrabel thing, right? One, there's the question of would Mike Vrabel want to take this job compared to what's out there? Now, I looked at the job openings. I think Chicago might be open.
Chicago will be open.
They're going to take an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Right. For Caleb. Absolutely. Yeah. The Jaguars don't strike me as a team that's going to go defensive head coach because they're trying to get the most out of Trevor.
Okay.
Who else was in there? Curtis. Who else on the hot seat?
We got to look at this.
Who else is on the hot seat? Zach Taylor. He's on the hot seat as well.
I want to talk about that, but not right now. The Jets have an opening, obviously.
Yeah, the Jets have an opening.
The Saints have an opening. I don't think that opening is very attractive either. So let's talk about that Bengals opening because I do think the Bengals.
Dallas.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have one. They're gonna have it.
Dallas is interesting. I don't think Mike Vrabel does it, but let's see. Dallas and Cincinnati would be the two that I'm they might be interested in bringing in Mike Vrabel. I think Dallas is going to go for Mike Flores. I mean, not Mike Flores, Brian Flores. Double down on defense. Do you have a veteran quarterback?
Do we think Bill Belichick factors into this at all at any point?
I don't think Jerry Jones hires Bill Belichick. Do you?
I'm not really talking about Bill going to Dallas.
You think he's going to go to Cleveland?
No, not Cleveland at all. No.
The Bengals?
No.
You think Bill Belichick trying to fucking penny pinch Cole? You think that's what Bill Belichick out here trying to do?
I think he's going to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and be like, I can work with that.
With an owner who can't spend any money because he's too broke to do it.
Amen.
Because you got to remember, he's trying to be GM too. That's two people the Bengals have to fire and pay to not be
Yeah.
there. And we know they don't like doing that with one person.
The Bengals
Yeah.
owner is like the homeboy you hang out with, but he ain't trying to pitch in on any of the activities. Like if you going out to
I told you I got the one homeboy still owe me $20.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Mike Brown. Mike Brown's the one owner that owes everybody $30 in the owners meeting. Like they just be like, "Hey, Mike, you got it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it to you." Like, when I get paid, like he get a paycheck still. He don't get no fucking paycheck. Talk about, oh yeah, I get you on payday. That's Mike Brown. But I don't think that would make sense for Bill because they would have to clear out everybody and then build that thing around Bill Belichick when he's already 70, right? Like he's not a young man. I don't know if the Bengals even want to fire a coach. We got to remember, Zach Taylor did get to a Super Bowl, and that's happened twice for the Bengals ever. They have Marvin Lewis for like
they got to the Super Bowl,
huh?
Are we sure he's the main reason why he got to?
Oh yeah. Obviously, he's not the main reason. He's not even part of the reason they got to the Super Bowl. Well, that's not how Mike Brown is looking at this, right? Like Mike Brown is looking at this like, hey man, Marvin Lewis didn't do shit for like 20 years with that team, and they kept him off. Did you just take Curtis off screen?
No.
It just
no,
like
I removed myself for a little bit.
I was looking up how many Super Bowl appearances the Bengals have.
I think 2.
3.
3? Oh, they must have went twice in the 80s. With Boomer?
82, 89, and then 2022.
Okay, I think one of those was Boomer. I think 82 was who was the guy they thought was like the next Joe Montana and he got hurt in Cincinnati?
I can't think.
Yeah, somebody deep in the NFL films bag will let us know. But yeah, I don't know what Bill looks at the Cincinnati Bengals and thinks to him. I mean, like we got to also remember Bill Belichick has thoroughly scouted the inner workings of that organization. If we remember the allegations going on around Spygate, and I don't know if that's something you think he tried to cross the street to get to the practice field.
Nah,
like you think that's what Bill tried to do?
Nah.
For what? To win more championships? What the fuck he got to prove?
Yeah, that's true. Bill might be done, man. Bill might just be like,
I think Bill's done.
He might be like, I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
Yeah, bro. He ain't about to take no mediocre job in the NFL. Why? Unless like he's that bored. Like it might just be he's bored.
Can't rule that out. Can't rule it out.
Brother, if you bored, go coach some spring football. Do something good for the sport. Like we do not need you out here trying to coach an NFL team again. Like
Nah.
Yeah. So I don't know if Bill goes for the Bengals job. I'm interested to see where the Bengals go because the Bengals issue is an offense, so they wouldn't have to hire an offensive guy. Like they probably would want to go defense, but Lou Anarumo is not a bad defensive coordinator. Like it would suggest to me if anybody should get fired for the Bengals, it's probably their general manager.
Yeah, he deserves most of the blame from what I've been hearing and talking with people.
Yeah, because like it doesn't feel like the Bengals' issues are like coaching related. As much as I don't think Zach Taylor's a good coach, it doesn't feel like that. Because usually, like when I point to Zach Taylor being bad, it's the offense is just all kind of inconsistent. They've been on fire the last month.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to the Bengals, their issue is they don't replace the star players at least in free agency with the players they drafted because they lost Jesse Bates and DJ Reader. They didn't replace either one of those.
Well, I think they tried to get Dax Hill, right? That was the draft pick, and then that didn't work out. And then all the draft pick, like I think maybe is Cam Taylor-Britt any good for them?
No, he's been atrocious this year.
Yeah, like they have made these moves to get off of like Cheeto and their safeties and everything else. They just haven't done well at drafting them. Like I think that's what when you look at the Bengals defense, it's like, oh, these are just some bad moves. Bringing back who did they bring back to be safety?
They brought back Von Bell.
He's cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what happened to their linebackers. They were once good. They're not good anymore. They did not do a sufficient job replacing DJ Reader. Like, to me, I look at them, I'm like, yeah, that feels like a GM that should get fired more than a head coach that should get fired. because I don't know what changes. Like like Lou Anarumo's a good defensive coordinator. The offense hasn't been bad. Like I don't think their problem's coaching. I think it's personnel, right? The fact that they've been trying to fix that offensive line for years. They finally got tackle figured out, but now the interior don't fell apart. Like that to me feels like roster construction is funky with that team. So I think they go GM. So that leaves, we know the Jags are probably going to go offense. We know the Bears are going to go offense. Are there any other teams that might fire their coach? Tennessee's in their first year.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Carolina's in their first year.
How funny would it be if the Titans fired their coach and it was like, it came back to Mike and was like, hey,
No, we trade Mike Vrabel for Bill Callahan.
It's like, I think we've all made some mistakes here. How about we just correct them?
Water under the bridge, right?
Water under the bridge. Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders could fire their coach. Now, they're the team I think will put together the Hail Mary package to try to get Bill Belichick. Or something even crazier. And you know goddamn well what I'm talking about, Cole.
What you talking about? What's crazier to do?
I mean, who's been the team that's been out here trying to recruit somebody? Yeah. Look, if there's one team in the NFL I think would absolutely hire Deion Sanders to be a head coach in 2025, it's 1,000% the Raiders.
I would hate it only because it would prove the both of y'all right, and I would never hear that debate.
Hey.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm about to hear
Tell
that.
me it don't make sense.
It's like you said Deion. What you said Deion would just be he'd be cool, he'd be fine. And now look, like I can see it.
No, and it's funny too because I'm hearing like all these takes about like what Deion is saying Shador and Travis gonna do, and I'm like, it's funny to me because like Deion don't even believe half the shit he be saying. Would he be in there because he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make these moves happen behind the scenes, right? Like Deion Sanders ain't the one who told people not to draft him publicly, right? Like if he had the leverage to maneuver where Shador Sanders was going to go, he would do it. But you know how he can leverage that? The same way he got Shador to be a starter his first year in college. Take the job at the place that has a chance to get him. Like,
God, I'll never hear the end of it.
Hey man, if somebody hired Jeff Saturday, somebody will hire Deion Sanders.
I can't argue. I can't argue that.
Yeah, Deion Sanders. But by the way, Deion Sanders. The reason I'm like people should have a little bit more like fear about this, like being somebody who could get their tentacles in your organization, because look, he's not going to be able to tell you can't draft somebody. He's smart enough to know that. He might try to like position it like that, but what he's trying to do is work out concessions, right? And depending on the organization Shador goes to, that concession might be a quarterback coach. That concession might be, hey, spend a fifth round on one of these wide receivers from Colorado to make Shador more comfortable, right? Like Deion plays the game. He knows how to play the politics of football very well. So he's trying to work out a concession. Also, Deion is the type of dude that these owners, and by the way, we got to remember these owners are easy to scam.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to scam. And who gonna walk in there with a better pitch on Shark Tank than Deion Sanders?
Nobody.
Oh yeah, this is like Deion Sanders is the dude you hire a search firm to avoid fucking hiring because your owner's gonna want to hire him, right? Like, especially if he's Mark Davis, the most scammable man on earth. Like, we've talked about this for 2 years, Cole. Is there a man in the NFL that owns a football team that's more scammable than Mark Davis? Absolutely. His name is literally Mark. He was born for this, dog. Consider giving Hugh Jackson a job again. Like,
oh man,
I'm telling you, dog, we get 20 minutes in a room along with Mark Davis, we gonna walk out millionaires. Okay. Like,
his name is literally Mark.
it is. That man has been he hired John Gruden. Like,
no, who's the GM he hired with Gruden?
Mike Mayock.
Mike Mayock, yeah. You can get one overall. You can get
And
one
then
overall.
he came down from John Gruden, Cole, and hired the biggest scam man, the biggest con man of all time. He hired Josh McDaniels.
Oh man. Oh,
This dude got scam written all over him.
Yeah, Deion can get the head coach.
Dog, Josh McDaniels once got returned. Okay, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Deion, you think Deion ain't gonna walk in there already angling? Deion know a scam when he see it. Deion know a mark when he see one. Why do you think they talk about the Raiders? Is because they good? Deion went on first things first, talking about he don't even need a team with a good offensive line. Now that's a crazy statement. That's when I knew Deion was bullshitting on that segment. I'm like, okay, you full of shit, man. Like, stop, man. Like, talking about, yeah, I don't even worry about if it's an offensive line thing. You know, I just want to make sure you got the things to go around him because he's like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about, Deion? That shit was so vague. Like, if that man had leverage, he would have came in there with the list of demands. Talking about you gotta have a good offensive line to have my son, right? That's the shit that the Manning family was doing with Eli. He ain't got no demands. He know he can't do nothing about where he get drafted. Unless like,
listen, man, that's
hey.
It's in play. I'll admit it's in play.
And I would just like to remind folks, Shedeur has not played a football game where Deion Sanders wasn't his coach ever in his life. Okay? Like, that man was his coach in Pee Wee. Then he went to middle school. Deion found his way to be a middle school football coach. Then he went to high school. All of a sudden, Deion got a fucking high school now, right? Then he goes to college. All of a sudden, Deion coach at Jackson State. Now he gonna transfer to Power 5. All of a sudden, Deion coach at a Power 5 conference. Now we hear he going to the Raiders. Why are they angling to the Raiders? It feels very intentional.
Listen, in Deion's defense, though, he done turned it around everywhere he went.
Hey, fair enough.
It's he can scam. Hey, listen,
fair enough.
He can sell it.
Fair enough. He's about to go to his second championship game. He went to he won the SWAC, and then he went to the Celebration Bowl. Did not win both times, but did go to the Celebration Bowl. And then he's on his way to the Big 12 championship if they could just win out. So, like, yeah, no, like, Deion does not have a horrible track record as a coach. I don't know what Deion's philosophy is as a coach. Like, he comes out with these quotes and he's very polarizing, but like, that's the thing. This is not as egregious as hiring Josh McDaniels.
It's not.
It's not. It's not even as egregious as going after John fucking Gruden in like 2020 or whenever they decided to do that.
I mean, if they hired Antonio Pierce, no disrespect to Antonio Pierce at all whatsoever.
A little bit.
I mean,
a little bit of disrespect because I want to get my fucking money back. Remember when y'all was laughing at me because I was like, man, you shouldn't keep Antonio Pierce. Everybody's like, but he winning though. And what did I say, Colb, at that moment? What did I say after the first win? What did I say?
You was right. You was right about this.
I said they better not hire that man full time. That man got fraud written all over him. He said Robert Spillane is who they built this around. That's crazy.
Yeah. You locked in on that. When he was talking about building defense around Robert Spillane, he was like, nah, that's not
that's not working for me, dog. Absolutely not working for me.
That's not the guy. That's not the guy you want. I'm telling you.
That man out here just fucking around. That's crazy. Okay.
Hey, man, I did call you a hater. I did call you a hater for that. I was like, why you trying to
and by the way,
brother,
everybody
man?
who was trying to get their money back on me for Cliff Kingsbury, where the fuck you at right now? Yeah. Every year, you jokers get mad at me for hating on Cliff Kingsbury, and then y'all do your laps when he has like a good 4 weeks, and then what? Man got the best rookie to come out since CJ Stroud, and what they doing right now? They looking real Cliff Kingsbury.
They don't have Bo Nix.
Stop it. You shut your filthy mouth.
Stop. Hey man, you gotta have to respect Bo at some point.
Hey, look, man. Here's what I'll say: Bo Nix' success makes me think, hey man, I definitely would draft the quarterback in this year's draft class because I like Shador, I like Jalen Milroe, I like Curtis Rourke more than I like Bo Nix. And if Bo Nix can be turned into somebody good, hey dog, I know you could do something with one of them three. Okay, like, don't tell me if he can be successful, they can't.
Hey, you see how I said I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Antonio Pierce, and you just immediately shit on Bo?
I didn't say I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Bo Nix.
Man, he's legitimately playing well. Playing well.
No, shout out to Bo Nix. But like Bo Nix is like, Bo Nix makes me believe. It's like when Brian Scalabrine scored 20 points. It's like, damn, man, maybe if I get out of shape, I could have been in the league too. Like,
hey, Shad, y'all don't be in our group chat, so you don't know. Every time Bo Nix have a good game, I send it to Q in the chat. And Q gets mad immediately.
I get so perplexed because I'm like, you don't even like Bo Nix. Why are you doing this right now? Like, are you just trying to make me feel bad? Like, what is
genuinely
this?
I'm genuinely fascinated by how well he is playing, because we are on record and said that we would not take Bo Nix in the first round because Bo Nix been playing football forever and he's old, and he's not as good as we didn't think he was.
So you say draft Cam Ward?
I'm not saying that at all. we said he wasn't as good as Caleb.
Hey,
he wasn't as good as Jaden, and he wasn't as good as Drake May.
It makes me think to myself too, because I remember the draft coverage, and it was like Drake May, a lot of draft people that I respect, were like Drake May, Caleb Williams, and right now it looked like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. And that to me means I need to broaden my horizons when it comes to this whole thing. I need to not shut out certain prospects, because clearly if Bo Nix could throw 19 touchdowns, anything is fucking pop. It's like when I saw Tim Boyle make the NFL and I looked at his college stats. Remember that? Found out that man threw. I was like, you know what, man? That's motivation to every mediocre quarterback in college football. You too can make the league. And with Bo Nix, I'm like, hey, man, must not be that hard. Okay, must not be that hard.
Hey man, Bo got better. Bo developed. Bo's playing well. Man,
Bo was developed when he got drafted. It must not be that hard to find somebody. Okay,
must not be that hard. That's crazy.
Yeah, it must not be that hard. Maybe we overthinking this.
Nah, man, I don't think it's that we overthinking it. I think situations matter, and I think coaching matters.
Yeah, man, that situation even that goddamn great. Like that's the same situation minus Jerry Jeudy, who's playing very well for the Browns right now. That's the same situation as last year with Russ, and we was like, it stinks. It's a horrible situation. And now Bo Nix out there. Hey man, I'm just telling you right now. That's where I come off of this. Maybe it ain't as hard as we think it is. Like if Bo Nix could work, I definitely want to see what Shador or Jalen Milroe or Curtis Rourke could do. Right? Like fuck it. Why not?
Mike said only took 6 years in college.
Yeah. Hey,
Curtis Rourke, man. Curtis Rourke.
Big game this weekend. Step up to the plate, young blood.
Listen, Curtis got an opportunity in front of him this weekend to make so much fucking money. This is his Super Bowl coming up this weekend. You light up Ohio State, you gonna make some money. You gonna make some money.
Hey, everybody over here gushing about 35-year-old Bo Nix. They're gonna look at you like, yeah, that's the next Bo Nix. And if they start doing that to Curtis Rourke, I'll be so furious because he's so much more than that. Yeah. If you're wondering like what Bo Nix makes me think, I'm noticing it, but I'm just saying this. Hey man, if you can make it happen with Bo Nix, if Jameis could throw for 400 yards. maybe we shouldn't just act like this draft class has nobody that you could get a quarterback out of, because I don't know. I feel like there's a chance that one of these guys could probably make it if Bo Nix can.
Hey man.
Hey, Anthony Richardson look good.
You know how I feel about Curtis. You know how I feel about Curtis Rourke. We got to get Corey back on, though. We got to get Corey back on because he think he's just a backup.
Oh, you think he's a backup?
He think he's just a backup.
Here's the thing that's
I ain't
beautiful.
mad at that.
Here's the thing that's beautiful about draft coverage. We don't fucking know. Like,
we don't.
Yeah,
we don't know.
I have had to learn this the hard way. Where I'm like, I get so mad and angry and so hard in my opinions. I'm like, hey man, I don't fucking know. Bo Nix might be good. Who would have thought it, man? Like, who would have thought it? There's a real reality out here where Bo Nix is a good quarterback. Now, I think that reality is going to crash down eventually, right? But, did not have Bo Nix outplaying Drake May or Caleb Williams. Certainly didn't have that. And that's the beautiful thing about the draft. You can be as mad as you want about these goddamn picks. You don't know. Same thing with the inverse. You could be thrilled. You don't know if you drafted Payne. Like straight up. Hey, I was so happy when they drafted Perrion Winfrey. Didn't work out.
Forgot about that.
Didn't work out.
Pounded the tape. Perrion Winfrey, no matter what.
Hey, man. Hey. Worked out for JOK the year before, right? Like, we don't, nobody knows. Even the players don't know. These dudes, like, think about that. JOK ain't know if he was going to be good when he got drafted. He hoped he was. Like, and the JOK don't know. Like, how the fuck I was supposed to know? It's the fun part of this, right? As long as because I see so many people crash out over these goddamn draft arguments, and I'm just like, hey man, we don't know.
We really don't. I post my drafts. People be mad. I'm like, hey man, pick who I like. I think they're good.
We think Ashton Genty's the best running back in this class. We don't know. Like,
I like Harold Fanning Jr. I draft him. We can use another tight end. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Hey man, Carson Beck might end up being the best quarterback in this draft class because, like, legitimately, his stock is tanking, but also like Georgia is much shittier this year than they were last year offensively. Pieces around him. Might just be that. Might just be that.
We don't know.
Hey, Shador might be great. Shador might be pure ass. We don't know. Jalen Milroe might end up being the best quarterback in this class. I hope that's the case. I hope the Browns take him if that's the case. But if that's not the case, we don't know. It's just fun to talk about these things, but like, you ain't got to crash out over nobody's draft opinion, man. The things that people have normalized calling people over such little is just kind of crazy to me. Like somebody getting called a grifter for mocking somebody to a draft that they didn't like is like, what the fuck are we even doing? Like, I
gotta be a grifter because I like this player.
Why? Because he thought they were going to draft the quarterback Cade Klubnik in the 4th round. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I mean, this crazy. Like,
I do want to point out, I don't like on the mock draft simulators now. Curtis Rourke is going significantly higher than he was like 2 weeks ago.
Them mock draft simulators gonna break my heart every time because I remember I was like, I could get Roger Rosengarten in the 3rd round. I was so excited about that. Where he go 2 picks later after the Browns pick Michael Hall in the 2nd to the fucking Ravens. Like,
was he a 2nd rounder?
Yes. And you know why I knew he wasn't going to be a 2nd rounder? My boy Sonny on AFC North Talk was telling me all draft season he's not getting past the Ravens in the 2nd round. And I thought he was bullshit.
Wow. Yes. He was pick 62.
Yes. And let me tell you, if you went to the Senior Bowl, Cole, you would have understood. Okay. Like,
you were telling me that. No,
me and Kyra were just watching him like, oh my God, that's a 2nd round pick. Like,
you were telling me the whole time. It's like Roger Rosengarten starts.
Yes. Yeah, that dude starts. Yes.
Starts.
I was like, yeah, Kingsley's gonna go ahead of him because he's younger, but Rodgers the guy.
You were like, he is going to be a starting tackle first year, 100%.
And what's he doing right now?
Starting for the Ravens.
Yes, playing very well for them at times. He's still struggling with run blocking, but he's young as fuck, right?
You was like pounding the table about this. She's like, hey man, the Browns get him. We good. We good on that right side. We good.
Hey man, don't you wish we would have did it? As much as people like try to get on me for the stuff I get wrong, I'm like, hey man, look, man, I be right like at least 60% of the time.
We gonna give you your flowers when you was right about something. We gonna give you your flowers. You was right about Rodgers.
I wanted Mason McCormick too, right? I wanted to get a guard. I wanted to get a tackle. I was almost about to draft fucking center. Okay. And with McCormick starting for the Steelers right now, you gonna see him. He gonna move ass on Thursday. Like I remember I put Mason McCormick in a mock and somebody said, I don't know ball. I'm like, brother, I watch a SDSU player film. What the fuck do you mean? Like, I know Mason McCormick. I saw him push my alma mater out the fucking way. Okay? Like, what do you mean?
Oh man, I know exactly who I want to take in this draft already, and I think that's the scary part. I know exactly who I want the Browns to draft.
You talking about that guard?
Who? Which one?
I forget. You was talking about a guard on Blue Sky.
Oh, that's the right tackle from Missouri. I can't think of his name, but that's not even who I'm talking about, bruh. Everybody knows Harold Fenton Jr. is like they have to draft this dude in the third round.
I can't wait to see him at the Senior Bowl.
Man, they gotta draft him because they're not gonna be able to take Tyler Warren because Tyler Warren's gonna get picked way too high. Like he's a second rounder, maybe like into the first round kind of guy. Like he's gonna get taken high. But Harold Fenton Jr. and I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I'm Will Campbell pilled.
Oh, the corner?
No, Will Campbell. Not Will Johnson.
Oh, not Will Johnson. Will Campbell?
Why
Will Campbell?
Man, he be fucking moving motherfuckers out on that line. he moving ass off that line. I was like, you know what team could use that? The Cleveland fucking Browns. I'm in. I don't even care if he has to play guard. I'm in. 100% in.
Yeah, you just need good. Like I wouldn't really be too focused on the position if I'm the Cleveland Browns in the draft. Like when it comes to offensive line, just get dudes who can move shit. They'll figure it out.
we need a guard because Joe's getting old. Need a center. Probably need 2 tackles. You know what I'm saying? Probably.
Well, you think Dewan's not coming back?
It's not that Dewan's not coming back. I just can't trust him.
He does get injured a lot.
And he has issues with his weight.
And he got fibula. Ooh.
So I'm sure that's not going to help. I'm sure that's not going to help the weight issue either.
Either it does or it absolutely doesn't.
I don't see how it does.
Well, I can see how it does because he could realize, hey, man, I can't play this heavy in the NFL because it gets me injured far too often. There's an actual real no matter what you think of a player's work ethic, the one thing players hate coming back from injury. So if you think that this is getting you injured, you're gonna do it. You're gonna try to do whatever it does that makes you not get injured. And I would argue him being over 400 pounds probably makes him an easier player to get injured because he just carrying too much for his frame.
Yeah, the Browns want him to be around like 350.
What if DeJuan Jones came back looking like Joe Thomas?
I'll come on here and be like, we're fucking back. We are fucking back.
I'm like, yo, did he get something? Like, is he all right? Like, that's a lot of weight to lose.
DeJuan come back on that Zimpy?
Hey, we gonna pass? Like,
he come back on that Zimpy. We good, man. We good.
Wait.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I think DeJuan, I think players don't like being injured. So I think there is a chance when somebody does get injured that they make the decision, I don't want to be injured no more. Let's see what else here. I did have some coaches. So Doug Peterson, we think he's going to get fired, right?
He's 100% getting fired. I know because JP has been celebrating and happy about this for weeks.
Shout out to JP, man.
Shout out JP. He wanted the Jags to fire this man for so long.
Eberflus gone.
Yes.
Antonio Pierce gone.
I think so.
I think if the time is prime, he'll be gone.
Yeah, I think. Oh, Curtis, you got thoughts?
It could happen.
What, Antonio Pierce?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Okay.
I think if the time is prime, he will be out.
See, I was undecided, but Curtis felt the need to pop on the screen when we talked about Antonio Pierce. Now I feel like he gone.
What is that? What is that supposed to mean?
I feel like he gone. Curtis popped on the screen. He popped on the screen. I was like, oh no, Curtis might know something about that. Oh yeah, he go.
Brian Dable.
Oh yeah, his ass.
Yeah,
he's gone.
He's done. He's done.
Mike McCarthy.
He should have been gone last year.
He should have been gone last year, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
everybody was like, oh, he's going to hire Bill. And now what? They going to fire him? And then people go like, oh, he's going to hire Bill? You think Jerry Jones trying to hire his replacement?
He needs to be honest. GM Jerry has had a catastrophic effect on this franchise. But the owner can't fire himself.
He about to hire Bill Belichick. And you think Bill Belichick dumb enough to fall for that okie doke? Oh yeah, Jerry said he not going to do nothing. That man is old. Okay, old enough to where he don't care about the repercussions.
No. Don't try to speed past it. Don't try to speed past. I heard what you was about to say.
That man is not at the point of his life where he trying to change long-term behaviors.
Hey man, you are fucked up.
You think now's the time that Jerry Jones about to be like, yeah, let me not be GM?
No, I'm just saying you are fucked up.
Hey. Pardon me for being a bit crass about it, but are we not going to factor that into this decision?
No, I don't know if you caught it, but he was about to say something crazy.
We ain't got to make it hot. We got to make it hot.
I'm just glad you ain't finished that. Finished that statement.
Yeah. We got to make it hot. All I'm saying is Jerry Jones. If he didn't want to do this anymore, he wouldn't be doing it. My man, 82 years old.
Yeah.
82 years old. He's so old that Joe Biden wasn't even in high school with him. That's how old he is.
Why Joe had to kiss the straight?
Hey, man, because I don't feel like mentioning the other dude that's old. Right? But he older than him too. Okay.
Who else we got on this thing, man? Who else we got?
Zach Taylor. I think Duke Tobin's the one that's gone. We talked about that. Nick Sirianni, is he gone?
Yeah. I feel like
they like 82.
Yeah, but it's not because of him. It's just because they figuring out on their own. But he could easily be fired if they lose. If they have an early playoff exit and they look inept and he costs them a playoff game, he's definitely gone.
I want to throw something out there. If Kevin Stefanski is available, do the Philadelphia Eagles hire him immediately?
I think they don't fire Nick Sirianni unless something comes available that they're like, yeah, we got to do that. I don't know if Kevin's that for him, but Kevin is from Philly.
I was about to say, I think Kevin would be 100% in the year.
You think they're going to bring Kevin and Barry over there, let Andrew be player personnel director?
I mean, he learned under Howie, so it's
yeah, that's possible. What I'm saying. Andrew's,
it's possible. You know what I'm saying?
If Andrew gets fired, he's going back to Philly. right?
100%.
Like
100% if he gets fired.
That'd be hilarious too if Kevin was out here cooking with Jalen Hurts. He was like, it wasn't even the fact that he can run. He was just ass. All these goddamn theories we had. It was like, no, he simply wasn't good. Like, did you see somebody, like, I was on Blue Sky and somebody had asked me, because like they were trying to make a point about my thing about Kevin, where I'm like, hey man, I don't think Kevin is like just a such thing as a coach that could cost you a Super Bowl or like a Super Bowl level coach or anything like that. I've seen too many mediocre coaches win Super Bowls to think that that's a thing. And he was like, well, do you think if Kevin Stefanski we had the Lions roster, they'd be just as good? I was like, yes! Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
What?
The fuck? Why we act like Kevin doesn't have multiple seasons winning 11 games in Cleveland?
Dog, if he had Jared Goff and a great offensive line, we've literally read that movie before. We watched that movie before.
He 100% would be. They would 100% be just as good. 100% would be just as good. Like, what kind of question is that?
That is like the team. I'm like, yeah, he worked there. Absolutely would work there. Like honest to God, if the Lions lose their offensive coordinator, you know who they about to call, right? If he don't got a job.
Kevin. That's who they're calling.
And then y'all gonna be sitting here, everybody that was like horny to fire this man, right? Like all year for 4 years, fire Kevin. To watch it work out, they be like, oh, see, the Browns this organization sucks. And it's like, nah, man, you were suggesting this shit. I'm tired of you motherfuckers doing the okie doke. That's the one thing I don't want to hear if the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski. The same people who sit here and tell us every week we gotta fire him. And look, we're at the point to where his record's bad enough to where you might have to fire him. I think that's fair. But do not sit here after years of telling us we got to fire him, and then when he gets fired, talk about how the organization's a dumpster fire because we fired Kevin Stefanski. No. I'm tired of you motherfuckers. Okay? I'm absolutely tired of you motherfuckers.
Hey, somebody asked, Logan asked, what the fuck is Blue Sky? Blue Sky is effectively new Twitter. And that's where me and QB talk about the Browns and everything else.
I was talking about this. Someone was like, you'll be back on Twitter. I'm like, look, man, I don't think you understand. I've been off Twitter for months. Like,
I genuinely do not want to go back on Twitter. Yeah. I genuinely don't.
Yeah, either Blue Sky works out or it doesn't. But like either way, I just will just not tweet. Like, I don't get paid for the tweets. Okay. Like,
yeah. My account's just so big that like when I write stuff or if there's anything for work and stuff like that, and obviously for the pod, like I use it for that. But outside of that, kind of enjoying my time on Blue Sky, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I got like 14K followers on Twitter. Don't none of that do nothing for like outside engagement for the most part, where it's like, oh, people will come off Twitter. I remember I did a poll and like 30% of the people who follow me didn't even know I did YouTube. And that's when I was like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here, man. Like, what am I even doing here? Like, y'all think this is my job? Like, I saw somebody was critiquing me one time and it was like, well, I'm not going to judge you off the work that you do. I'm judging you off the tweets. I'm like, sir, I send these tweets in the bathroom. Like, this is not my work. Like,
yeah, Twitter don't be serious at all, bro. Yeah. I don't think people understand it. We don't take it serious.
It's a very unserious.
Yeah, when I started being judged for my tweets and not the stuff that I actually put work, I was like, I'm out, dog. I'm good. Like, absolutely out.
Twitter is not to be taken seriously at all whatsoever. Yeah. I don't understand.
But Blue Sky, it's like it's been fun. I've been on there full time. Like, you know, whenever I get the urge to tweet something, it's been nice. I've been having some good conversations, you know. And somebody starts sending some bullshit your way, it's real easy to just get that out of there.
No, the block feature on Blue Sky is the best block feature on any social media app.
Yeah, it blur them out. It just, you know what they need to do? Add like a Thanos snap animation, make it satisfying to block a motherfucker.
Of course,
you just see all their tweets just go into the abyss.
With the little infinity gauntlet, just
you just.
Oh no! If they turn the
goddamn 50-50 questions, just off the timeline.
No, if they took
Hey,
the
that's
dust,
what
that
it
would be
feels like when you
hilarious.
find the right block list too, and you like, oh yeah, we getting 50-50 up out of here, dog. Let's do it. Oh, like,
There's also a huge community of Cleveland sports fans on Blue Sky now, and it's kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of dope.
we gonna be there talk about the Cavs for sure. Also, check me out on my Cavs channel. I'll be out there streaming the Cavs. If y'all want to join me, come holler at me, Cole or Curtis. Let me know. Send me a text.
Oh, y'all, when you doing it? Are you doing one today?
Yeah, I'm doing it during the game.
Oh yeah, let me know. Yeah, we're gonna be a part of that. It's a big one.
No, don't be doing no bullshit like you did against the fucking. What game was that where Cole was out here just putting the negativity on the timeline? What game was that?
What you talking about?
What was it? They were
the Philly game, the trap game.
Yeah. When you put out there, I saw Mike. Mike don't usually get mad at you, but Mike was furious with you. Mike was like, "Why are you putting this bullshit on the timeline?"
Hey, Mike lit me up, bro.
Mike was not happy.
He was like, I just want you to know. I want you to know. If we lose this game, it is your fault.
I was like, oh, yeah, you know how I was doing too? Like.
I know, because you can still see lights on Blue Sky. I was like, look at this motherfucker.
I was like, damn, Mike lightened him up for that. I agree. Like.
How you get mad at me because they lose it? I just pointed out
man,
what it was.
no, why you even putting it out there? Why we bringing these bad vibes to the Cavs?
I was just saying. I was like, oh, this.
Why
you
even had
classic?
Why
classic
you
trap game.
You like to do. You like to do. You get on a roller coaster with. You get to the top of that bitch. And you like, hey man, what did this thing just fall apart? Why the fuck would you even say that, Cole? It usually fall apart in the wintertime. What are you doing?
I just want to point out that they won that game clearly.
Yeah, they did, despite your efforts.
It wasn't even my efforts. I was just being honest. Had Justin Rowan and everybody
at that point in time,
Justin Rowan and Bree and everybody was attacking me. I was like, damn, bro,
what the fuck are you doing? I was about to make a burner and tell you to go back and talk about the Lakers. Okay.
I talk about the Lakers on there too.
I was looking at it like, why he even do that, man? Why would you say that, Cole? We all coming down for this goddamn Brown season. We just want to be happy as long as possible. You're like, hey man, this is a trap game. We know. Okay. We know our happiness is at threat. But Cavs, speaking of them, they play a big game today against the Boston Celtics. I am of two minds. One, I don't want to put so much stock into this game that I end up overreacting because of the result either way. Like straight up. Don't want to do that. Want to avoid that at all costs. Also, I really want them to win this one. Right?
It's an important game. It is. It's an important.
I really want them to put up winning. I think is one thing, but this got to be a good game, right? Like you can't get spanked.
No, you can't get spanked, because if you get spanked, then everything that people have been saying about the Cavs, despite the winning streak, is going to become more valid to people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the narrative out there about the Cavs is this: good regular season team, going to be a great regular season team this year, clearly with the start that they're on. But playoffs come around, they can't get past the Celtics, which may be true. We're not going to know for some months. It may be true. But if you get spanked, everybody's going to believe that. You know what I'm saying? You win the game, which is nationally televised, by the way. That's going to change the narrative around. So you at least want the game to be competitive.
Yes.
It would be great if they won, because then you move into second place all time for the undefeated starts in NBA history.
Well, you're tied for second right now. You'd be alone at second.
Yeah, alone at second. if they win today, which is a great thing in and of itself. All the other teams that they're either tied with or ahead of them have all made the NBA Finals after having a start of at least 15 games in a row without losing. Every single one has made the NBA Finals. They all haven't won, but they all made it. So there's a level of legitimacy that they should already be receiving from people, and I feel like they are for the most part. But if you beat the Celtics, who are the defending NBA champions, and everybody still considers them the best team in the East despite the records right now, then you're like, okay, this Cavs team is legit. This Cavs team is for real.
I also have to remind this is an NBA Cup game, so winning this game would be important for many reasons. One, you can easily get a leg up on the group that you're in, and point differential matters too, because that's going to matter as well when it comes down to the last day. So, lots on the line tonight. That's all I got.
So Dean Wade's out. Sam Merrill's out for this game. It looks like Isaac has a chance to play. We know Donovan's expected to play today. Karras is going to have a chance to play too. That's the X factor. Karis LeVert versus the Celtics.
Yeah, he's a Celtics killer. There's just certain players that just kill certain teams, and Karras lights the Celtics.
Remember,
Dean Wade does too, to be honest. So that's actually a big loss that he's not going to play.
Well, especially because he's not really a wing, but you need long defenders, right?
Yeah.
Against Boston. Like, that's what you're going to need. And that's also a good test for this team, right? Because I don't know how many teams they played. The Hornets had a ton of long dudes in their front court, right?
Ton of wings,
right? LaMelo's long as hell. Brandon Miller, who that first quarter against the Cavs, I was like, Brandon Miller could hoop. Them last 3 quarters, I'm like, he can't shoot.
One thing about the Hornets that I thought was interesting, all they do is shoot threes. Like that's it. They coming down.
They got Bridges big ass out there just smacking threes. I'm like, he shot 8. Bro, Brandon Miller shot 12.
LaMelo shoots the ball every single time he touches that bitch.
Right, they literally are playing the offense LaMelo had in high school.
He crossed half court. He got the ball. He's pulling.
That is insane, just how much they shoot the ball. But yeah, I was watching that game. It was very interesting how the Hornets play. I don't know if that to me, I was like, that's the one I was worried about being a trap game, because like usually them teams that can make a bunch of threes,
they get hot.
It don't matter. But they got hot in that third quarter, so I started getting nervous. But Jared Allen was doing everything to make sure that happened. And by the way, shout out to Jared Allen. And you know what, man? I'm making it official. That's the garbage man. That is the most useful, underrated player on that team. And that third quarter proved it. Did you watch that third quarter?
No, I watched the whole game.
Jared Allen was the only thing keeping the Cavs in the lead that game. I know they ended that quarter with like a 3-point lead. They started with like a 12. Let me tell you, if Jared Allen was not in there, they would have been down by like 10 points. Jared was getting them second chance points. Evan was missing them goddamn bunnies. Didn't matter. Jared was cleaning it up, right? Like Karras missed a couple of layups. Didn't matter. Jared cleaned it up. Jared was out there setting screens, getting defensive plays, defensive stops, getting them to foul him on the offensive side of the ball. I was like, look at the garbage man do what the garbage man do, man.
Funny thing about that game, Evan didn't miss a shot until like the last minute or two of the second quarter. And it was the most wide open, easy shot in the world. He had 16 points at halftime, and he only missed that one shot. I was like, bro, that's the easiest shot you got all game. He was sick too. He was sitting there looking like, oh, I can't believe I missed that shit. He had a good game, but I think it was like 23 and 11.
Yeah, he had 23, 11.
11. Yeah. He had a great game.
Hey, Jared at 21 and 15.
Two 20-point. No, three 20-point double-doubles.
Yeah. And then
Darius
had 25 and 12.
25 and 12, yeah. Ty Jerome, man.
Ty Jerome, 24 and 8.
Ty Jerome, he's so fucking good, dog.
I was watching him, and I had to admit, I'm like, I have not followed Ty Jerome's career closely enough to explain what the fuck is happening right now. Like,
he come out of nowhere.
This feels random. Like, I heard he was hooping like this for Golden State.
Yeah, but he was actually healthy because that was the year he was actually healthy.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know how real this is with Ty Jerome, but let me tell you, every three he makes, right on fucking time. Like, he don't make a three that's a useless one. Every Ty Jerome three, it be coming at the most crucial time where you're like, they might pull this within 4. Ty Jerome, the bottom. Oh, big shot, Ty. Like, even his 3-point plays be coming on right on time. Like, it is impeccable, this man's timing.
He's a really good defender too. And I did not realize that. I did not know that about him at all.
He got one defender. Of the builds that make it hard to believe he's 6'5". He's 6'5".
He's like, 6'5", bro. He's not a small guard at all.
Yeah, because I was watching, I'm like, he got to be like 6 foot. How are they putting him and Craig Porter Jr. out here at the same? They were putting him, Craig Porter Jr., Darius Garland on the court at the same time. Like, how are they doing this? And then I found out he was 6'5". I was like, oh.
That's why they like that lineup with him and Karras, because he's 6'5", and Karras damn near 6'8".
Karras like 6'7". Yeah, like, the NBA is so crazy because, like, I swear, like, I think it's just the build and like the fact that they're around these tall dudes all the time. But in the NFL, if somebody is 6'4", you know, let alone 6'6", right? Like, there's no guessing that somebody's that tall in the NFL. You have never been caught off guard by the fact that Derrick Henry's 6'3", right? Like, that's never caught you off guard. No, you be getting caught off guard in the NBA all the time by this height stuff. Like,
no, there was a one time because my mom, her best friend's husband worked for the Cavs, and like he brought me one day. He like brought me one day to like shadow him one day at work, just so I could see what's going on. And they were playing the Bucks, and it was back in the day. They still had Brandon Jennings on the team and everything like that. And I saw like the Bucks come in for the game, and then we watched the game later. Dog, NBA players are so much taller than you think they are when you see them in person. Because when you see them on TV, you don't really like grasp how tall they are. When you see them like up close and personal, they are tall human beings. It's
and
crazy.
Not as skinny as you think.
No, not at all.
And let me tell you, it's with all the basketball players. The Dream got this small arena for the WNBA, right? So like every seat's like a very good seat. We got like seats right up to the court. I saw one woman for the Dallas Wings. I don't remember her name, but I remember looking at her like, I think she could play edge.
You think she could put her hands in the dirt?
1,000%. Let me try to find her real quick. It's like when you find out Dellavedova's was 6'5", but let me try to find her real quick. The Dallas Wings. I remember looking at her like, that is the strongest looking woman I've ever seen in my life. Like, straight up. Like Brittany Griner's like legitimately 6'9". Like, we have a player on the Dream that's like 6'5". Every time I say, I'm like, that is a giant person. And then I saw Brittany Griner just tower over her, bend over to like dap her up. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, the height difference is crazy. And like, I imagine it's got to be tough if you're a WNBA player because you're not rich like these NBA players are, but you definitely are more noticeable. Like, if somebody like 6'8" in the mall, they might play basketball if they a dude. But you see a 6'8" woman walk through the mall, she got a hoop, right? Like absolutely no shot. She does not hoop. But yeah, let me try to find her. What's her name? Was it Natasha Howard? I don't think it was Natasha Howard. Oh, Tierra McCowan. That's who it was. Go.
What's her name?
Tierra Teaira McCowan. McCowan.
Tierra McCowan. Let me see. Took me to her stats first. Trying to see what she looked like. Oh yeah.
I was like, yo, she can play edge. Like, because you see her on TV, she looked like a basketball player. That you see her in real life, you like, nah, man. That's 260 right there. I know 260 when I'm watching the football to know when somebody 260, 270. I'm like, she could legitimately play edge. like,
yeah, if she could get off the ball,
yeah.
do it.
Well, they got her listed at 238. Like 6'7".
6'7", 238. She had to pick up. She'd have to get in the weight room a little bit. Get in the weight room a little bit.
Let me tell you something. She's not 238. Like it's like Miles is 270. He's clearly like 310, right? Like she's at least 260, right? Like
they be lying like hell when they do those weight.
Yeah.
they be
It's like when you go to the doctor's office. How tall are you? Like, what you think? Like, but yeah, these basketball players are much taller than you think in real life. And Ty Jerome, he don't look like somebody who's 6'5". He is definitely 6'5" though. Like, it's like how Russell Westbrook looked like he's taller than he is, but he not. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying 100%. Hey, man, since we're talking about these Cavs, we got to just suggest something. It might be a little premature, but I still want to have a conversation. I really do.
Here go Colb trying to make a trade.
I ain't trying to make no trade. Why you going to say I'm trying to make a trade?
I thought you were about to suggest a trade. I'm like, here he go.
Okay, just making sure, man. I just want to. How many All-Stars you think they're going to have, man? I wouldn't try to trade nobody.
Oh, 2 starters.
I don't know if they get 2 starters.
I think they get 2 starters.
I don't think so. I think they get Mitchell as a starter. Because starters are determined by votes, by fan votes more than anything.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna get 2.
Well, who else is in the East?
They gonna get 1 for sure. Like they're gonna get Donovan Mitchell as a starter.
Who are the guards that are potentially gonna get the most votes?
Let me look.
Let me tell you something. Cavs fans are charged up right now. Okay.
Oh, you know, I think Donovan's getting in for
Donovan,
sure.
no doubt's getting in.
Let me see. Eastern Conference point per game leaders. Let's see. Scoring leaders. I'm just going to scoring leaders. No, let's go season leaders. Oh, Jaylen Brown. You gotta think about that. Because he is a guard. He is considered a guard. So yeah, Jaylen Brown's gonna be part of that.
Tatum's a wing, right?
Tatum's a wing, so you don't have to worry about him. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. LaMelo Ball is going to get a bunch of votes. He's gonna get a ton of votes. That's something they gotta worry. That's something they gotta think about. I'm not worried about Dame. I'm not worried about Dame at all.
No.
Jalen Brunson might be something you gotta worry about.
New York ain't charged up about this year right now.
Might be. No, man, don't say that. That's something you gotta worry about.
Yeah, I mean, like it's New York, but it ain't like the whole press is on. Like, was he an All-Star starter last year?
Who?
Brunson.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if he wasn't last year, he's not gonna make it this year.
Let me see. Let me actually look at the 2024.
Is Cat gonna be an All-Star starter? Your boy?
Listen, New York, man. it's a possibility.
You think that's the dude? The New York put their arm around?
No, Brunson is the dude who but yeah. You never know because it's the fan vote.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily populated areas can have a real big impact on who's going to make it. Like the Lakers are going to get 2 starters. The Lakers are going to get 2 starters for sure because they're going to get Bron and they're going to get AD. Like the Lakers fans are going to make sure.
That has more to do with like it being LA and that being Bron and AD.
And also the Lakers fans. The Lakers fans are
it adds everywhere. A boost for sure. But like Bron was going to be an all-star starter no matter how he's playing. The same thing could be true for AD as long as he's like out there.
So let me look at the starters. Oh, Damian Lillard was a starter last year. That's bullshit. Off top.
Okay, yeah. That's not happening again.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Just off top.
Nobody.
Tyrese Halliburton was a starter last year.
He's popular, but they're not playing super well.
He's not going to be a starter this year.
I think if this happens, then Darius Garland has a good chance to make it. If Darius Garland has like a really good in-season tournament run, that's going to get a lot of people who ain't in Cleveland behind him and be like, yeah, he should be an all-star starter.
Maybe, but I think the Cavs don't need to worry about who's starting because they're going to get Donovan Mitchell's probably going to start this time. He's probably going to start this time. They need to be thinking about reserves because coaches pick that. You know what I'm saying? Coaches still pick the reserves. I think they might get 2, especially if they're still the 1 seed. If they're still the 1 seed, I think they're going to get 2.
What, 2 reserves?
2 reserves on top of Donovan starting.
What do you think? Evan?
Yeah.
Darius?
It'll be Evan and Darius.
I think Darius has a chance to start. I think Evan might. And Jared Allen, this is like the second year in a row he's played like to that all-star level that he was the year he made the all-star team. It's just like he's one of them dudes that I think people look at and go, he's a one-time all-star and don't like want to make him a 2-time all-star because they already put him in that box. But I mean, he should probably make it.
I think it's hard for them to get 4, but I think them getting 3, especially if they're the ones, like if they're the 1 seed still, I think them getting 3 is 100% in play.
That's crazy. The Lakers going to have 2 all-star starters, but like Oklahoma City is clearly. Like...
Well, Chet got hurt because he would start, like not start, but he would have made it if he was still healthy.
And then Shai.
They still gonna get Shea. He's probably gonna start, and then they're probably gonna get Jalen Williams too.
The Rockets are decent this year, huh?
They might get one. The Sun. Sengun might get one. You know, KD and Devin Booker are definitely gonna make it.
And then Jokic.
Jokic is definitely gonna make it. But when you look at the East, man, there's nobody really stopping the Cavs from having 3 all-stars. There's nobody really stopping them from getting 3 all-stars. Like, I'm being for real. Like, if you look at the ones from last year, like Bam made it last year. He's not going to make it this year. Tyrese Halliburton made it last year. He's not going to make it this year.
Paolo's going to make it this year.
Paolo's not. I don't know if he's going to make it because he's hurt. He's been hurt. So that hurts him. But Franz, his teammate, he's going to make it this year. He's 100% going to make it. He's 100%.
Hey, was he on the same Olympic team as Jokic?
No.
Who was on that team? Was it Mo Wagner that was fucking almost about to eliminate the U.S.?
No, because they play for Germany.
They play for Germany. Then who was on that team with Jokic? Because it was like a couple of dudes. I'm like, man, they actually kind of
Bogdanovich.
It was Bogdanovich. It was
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, he plays for Serbia.
Hey, with Bogdanovich and Kevin Huerter, every time I watch that, it's a cold white boy right there, dog.
That's a cold white boy right there.
They got that you at the park and you see a who? Like, that's a cold white boy right there.
Man, who else? Like, hey, no, like Scotty Barnes made it. He's not 100% not making it this year.
Scotty Barnes.
Now, see, Julius Randle was there.
Nah.
He's obviously not there anymore. So, but Cat is here now because Cat made it last year.
Yeah, Cat made it last year.
Cat made it last year. And
how are they hooping though? With like, is Cat hooping like legitimately? I didn't watch.
No, Cat's hooping. Cat is hooping.
Cat's hooping.
Is
he like he's doing like the thing where he scores like 50 points in a game and doesn't win? Has he done that yet?
He's averaging 26 and 12. He's hooping.
Has he done the thing yet though?
I think he had like 46 and they lost or something like that.
Well, that had something to be against the Bulls, right?
I don't know who it was against.
That had to be against the Bulls.
I have to look at his
because he shot the ball 30 times in this game, dog. Yeah. Like 46 points against the Bulls. How many rebounds? 10 rebounds.
I ain't gonna lie, Cat hooping. High key. He hooping high key. 54% from the field, 51% from 3.
Over 50 on 30 attempts isn't nothing. Oh, gee, good Lord. What the fuck is going on with him?
Oh.
No, he getting 17. All right.
Trae Young made it last year. He's an injury.
Is Trae Young like still a thing? We still doing that?
Trae Young. I haven't really been keeping up with him on the Hawks. Let me see. There you go. (22-11).
What's the turnover
Still good.
like?
He's shooting 38% from the field and 35% from three, though. 5 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
He might get in just based off numbers, but he hasn't been better than Darius. He hasn't had a better season than Darius, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And don't nobody like Trae Young.
That's part of it too.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is about him, but like it just seems like people don't like him.
Hey, another player you got to worry about because I think he's gonna make it. Cade Cunningham.
Okay, solid. But ain't he a wing?
No, he's a guard.
He's a guard now.
He's their point guard. He's their starting point guard. He's just 6'6", but 23-9. 23-9 ain't nothing.
I think the difficult thing for him is like the part of being an all-star is the narrative, and like the Pistons are just gonna suck.
The Pistons aren't bad though, right now. We'll see what happens as time goes on.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're a playoff team at the moment, but the East sucks. So
yeah, I'm about to say like it's a 4-win team in there right now. Like,
is there a 4? No, everybody has 5 wins.
Okay, my bad.
Everybody has 5
win team in there.
Yeah, they're 7-9 and they're the 7th seed right now.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 teams in the East have a record over 500 now, so that's decent. It's stabilizing a little bit. It was only 2 for a long time.
Yeah, with the Magic and the Knicks, the Hawks are 7-8. The Heat are 6-7. We know what the Heat about to do. They about to hover around that the whole fucking season and then like take the first round team to like 7 games out of nowhere. The Pistons are 7-9. I guess they're not awful.
They're not terrible. They're not a horrible team. They're not.
I don't know. I just think they got to be a funner story for Cade to make the playoff, the All-Star game.
Yeah, but I think as long as the Cavs are the 1 seed, Mobley and Darius are going to have like the inside track to being reserves. Especially if we're talking about a historic, like they have like a historic season up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get 3 All-Stars for sure.
Yeah,
it's a good thing they don't play
top
in the
of
West.
Everybody's mind. They might get 4, like because being on the top of everybody's mind does matter with this, and like that's why I'm like Cade might not make it because if nobody's checking for Detroit because like they're just like the 6-7 seed, but they're not awful, then nobody's gonna be thinking about Cade when they come in do the alternates or something like that.
Like I said, it's the coaches too, and I know the coaches historically they value winning, and guys who are on teams that win. That's why the Scotty Barnes thing didn't make a ton of sense to me because they were like the 12 seed or something when they picked him, and I thought that was just like no, I think he was an injury. I think he was an injury replacement though because he didn't make it initially. So I think that's Adam Silver's call when that happens. So yeah, so
weird. Oh my bad.
Why are you talking about Tobias Harris?
Because I was looking at the Pistons roster.
Oh yeah, their roster isn't terrible. Like it's really not that bad.
No, I just find his career to be interesting because like the last 3 places he's played, like since 2016, this man has worn the same fucking colors, but for like 4 different teams. Like he went from the Pistons, then he went to the Clippers, then he went to the 76ers, and now he back on the Pistons. My man hasn't had to change a shooter sleeve ever. Like,
no, one of my homies is a 76er fan. He was a 76er fan. And he said that somebody in his fan base was telling him like, man, I'd rather have Tobias Harris than Paul George because at least when we had Tobias, we was winning. Oh, sorry, that made me laugh, bro. That made me laugh. I was like, damn. I'd rather have Tobias. What's their record, bro? Their record got to be terrible. Oh, they 2-11. They're done.
You tell me they having the Brown season, ain't they having the same exact season. Man, when people be like, oh yeah, the Browns are actually the NBA, the NFL version of the 76ers, I think that shit might be on to something now, dog. Because look at this shit. Like,
bro, 2-11. I know there's so many games to play, but when you put yourself in a 2-11 hole like that, bro, it's hard to get out of, dog. It's hard to get out of.
Bro, you out here tied for the last seed in the East with the fucking Wizards.
And they're gonna get healthy, and then Joel and PG and all of them, they're gonna start playing better. When you put yourself in that kind of hole, you can't get out of that.
The 76ers have the best odds to get the number 1 overall pick right now. Like they're the worst record in basketball.
And the crazy thing is, you play in the East, and the East is bad. And you started off 2-11. Like the Bucks are disappointing, and they're 5-9. They could you could climb out of 5-9. You know what I'm saying? You could string some wins together and be all right, especially in the East.
Such a weird roster they have.
2-11.
And like also, it's like, what, you going to bet on Joel Embiid and Paul George being healthy?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, what if they get hurt again?
They're clearly going to get hurt again. They're older and they've always gotten hurt.
Like, I can't see a situation. And Tyrese Maxey is hurt right now too, so I can't see a situation where you get out of that.
They be rolling out Kelly Oubre, fucking Kyle Lowry.
That rookie that got Jared McCain, he was cooking the Cavs.
Was that the big dude?
No, that was the guard who was shooting every time he touched the ball. He was frying the Cavs.
Man, well, I forget. Was it the 76ers that had the chubby fella?
I don't know.
Might have been the Hornets. But I remember seeing somebody out there. I'm like, yeah, my agenda is thriving.
You talking about Grant? What you talking about? Grant Williams?
No, not Grant Williams.
Who are you talking about? Chubby fella.
Let me see. Check chat. See if chat got an answer.
Man, chat. Who's he talking about?
Let's see. Who's the heaviest player on the Hornets right now?
Somebody said Al Jefferson. Throw back.
Shut the fuck up.
Wait, isn't it I'm trying to think, because
Al Jefferson was a hooper too. Hold on,
he was still hooping. Ain't he in the big three?
I don't think he is.
If he is, I need to watch. Real post moves. He
was getting buckets in the big three for a couple of years.
They talking about someone who's chubby. What about, is it the dude in the Olympics from France?
Yabusele?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Nah, he not chubby though.
Let me see. Let me see if this is the guy, because he is 265, 6'8". He fits the description. Yeah, this is who I'm talking about.
You was talking about Yabusele?
Yeah, I ain't know. Look, I only saw the broadcast angle. Clearly, when you zoom in, there is more definition there than I thought.
Called that man fat for no reason.
I thought he was chubby. No, that man built like a boulder. Brother, can you play football? Like,
he probably need to.
7'1" wingspan, 6'8", 265. Hey, let me see if he can do a kick step right now.
Yeah, he put on 35 pounds.
Nah, he didn't even got to. He got a 7'1" wingspan.
Man, I feel like he ain't heavy enough. He gonna get blown off the ball.
Curtis, you think he can play at 270 with the 7'1" wingspan?
Tackle?
Nah, tackle. Yeah, he can play tackle at 270.
He can play tackle.
He a little light.
He ain't playing guard.
He's not playing guard. He's too big to play guard. He can play tackle.
He can play tackle at 270. The most tackle, you just being finesse, especially in pass pro.
Man, need to get him up to
280. All you gonna ask him to do on run plays is just pin down, just boom, just be long as shit, just hold him down, like
yeah.
You're not trying to run behind him, like.
Listen,
how big was Joe Thomas? So I don't think Joe Thomas was like ever over 300. Oh no, Joe Thomas was 312.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. 265.
I think he could do 265.
I want to get him at least a 280, 285.
It's the long arms though. It's like all he got to do is make him do the run around, brother.
I want them big ends killing you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he won't get bulled a couple times, you know. But
that's what I'm saying.
Like if he can squat though, he might be able to anchor, and it's cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's gonna have niggas.
Only one way to find out, buddy.
You gonna have dudes like Miles, just like, I don't know if I want that for him, man.
Hey, man, I don't know. He seems pretty powerful. Like he also might not be what he's listed. He might be like a good 10, 15 pounds heavier than 265.
Yeah, if he was like 280, I'd be like,
yeah, I think he's probably around 280. Don't he look 280 to you? Curtis, what do he look like to you?
He look like he around 275, 280-ish. He around that frame.
Okay. If he around 280, you know, one off season in the weight room, we'd be all right.
Brother, do you look at this man? Does he need the weight room?
I think so. It's the NFL. he might need it.
Let me tell you something. At 7'1", it don't matter what he bench. Okay. Like I could care less what he bench at 7'1". You know how long that is? You know how hard it is to bench at 7'1"? Elbows be hitting the fucking ground. Like you can't even get the bar to your chest. With 6'8", 7'1", yeah, man, he can play tackle for me immediately. Immediately.
Oh man.
You talk about DeJuan Jones doing the sit and reach. He could actually get away with it. The French have failed you. Okay, you could make.
Wow.
The French have failed you.
Failed you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. How much he make right now?
Minimum.
$2 million? He'd be making fucking 35 in the NFL right now.
Oh man.
Dog. What Panay get paid?
I know he cleared 30. I know he cleared 35 easy.
No, Panay ain't cleared 35 yet. 28. Yeah. They sold you, dog. The French sold you. You need to come out here and play this tackle, dog. Like,
man, take that trip down the road. Come to Cleveland.
Next time you see Joel in the Bugatti, just know if they would have let you play football in France, you would be in that Bugatti too. Okay.
It might not be too late.
Hey,
it might not be too late.
Hey, you ain't got to deal with the rookie contracts. Like, I throw like $6 million on it as a flyer. Fuck it. Like see what happens.
And he an athlete too. Might be able to kick him out the tight end sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
If it don't work out, we find somewhere for your big ass. Okay. Like,
can you high point a football in the end zone? Can you do that?
Oh yeah, just him and Miles jumping up as high as possible on field goal blocks. We'll get our money back. Like, what?
Telling Jameis, will you see him in that end zone?
Oh, you ain't even got to tell Jameis nothing. Jameis like, you got 7'1" wingspan? Shoot. Like, I gotta see. Like, you kidding me?
He throw a touchdown to Yabusele.
Hey, go. What you mean?
They gonna be like, how did you like? It's like, how did you just know he was gonna be there? He gonna be like, unwavering faith.
Unwavering faith. 7'1" wingspan. Glory unto God. Okay. Oh yeah, you imagine the first time Jameis wants to see somebody with a 7'1" wingspan in a football locker room, he gonna have the craziest reaction. Woo! It's like Mike Evans times 2. Like, shout out to Jameis, man. He the only one who could throw something out of Mike Evans' reach. Like,
literally the only one.
The only guy. Oh man, shout out Jameis, man. 400 yards. That's crazy. Like, and not in garbage time either.
Oh, meaningful 400 meaningful yards for Jameis. Meaningful yards.
It's crazy. That's crazy. The defense absolutely sold. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Mike saw it. Mike was on the sideline. He was like, "Yeah, that's our starter next year. That's my starter next year."
I will say this though, right? I don't think that Mike Vrabel came in here thinking that he was going to steal Kevin's job. But I do think Mike Vrabel understands what the record is right now. And I don't think it's a mistake that Mike Vrabel is suddenly on road games. Like, why is he in New Orleans?
Bro, I was screaming this at people. I was like, "Hey, explain this to me." He had no role on game day up until the bye week. Bye week come, we in New Orleans. Now Mike on the side.
Well, no, Mike been on the sidelines, I think, since the start of the season at home.
Oh,
That's
this is
not
the first time
unusual. Yeah.
First time on the road.
Yeah.
Now Mike on the sideline.
But kicking it in New Orleans, well, I'm like, you didn't coach in New Orleans. It's not like you got a house in New Orleans or something like that. What's connecting you to New? You played in New England. You coached in Tennessee, and you played college ball in Ohio. You have no reason to be in New Orleans, except for if you try to put your best foot forward. Right? Like, and I think Mike's looking around. He's like, yeah, I want this job if they offer it. Let me make them know that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things better. Right?
We talked about this. I've talked about this on Spaces for months. I always felt like it was a little weird. I always felt like it was a little weird that they wanted Mike here when they knew he was going to be a hot coach. He was going to be a hot name for the next head coaching cycle. They brought Mike here, and everybody was like, "Hey, man, Kevin's coming off 11 wins. He just got an extension." This, in my opinion, this proves that Kevin feels great about his job security that he would bring Mike in. And I was like, you know what? I hear that. It sounds good. But what happens if things go wrong?
I think in Kevin's mind, he thought the worst things could go with 7 wins. Right? Like, I think in Kevin's mind, that's what he was thinking, and that's why he had all that confidence. Like, I think legitimately, this was not how it was supposed to go, obviously. But Mike Vrabel is a man who is aware of his surroundings, and, I don't think he meant to come in here and try to take Kevin's job. I think he honestly was going to stay here, see what's available in 2025, and, do whatever he got to do after that, right? But now he's looking around, and he's like, well, I think I can work with this. Like, maybe we keep Jim, maybe we don't. Hey, look, everywhere I've coached, if you're Mike Vrabel, he's thinking everywhere I've coached, I've ran the West Coast offense. So, we could do that with Jameis. They're trying to keep some continuity around. Maybe he feels like he can work with Andrew Berry.
All I'm saying is, if you notice the people who report on the Browns, they've been putting it out there. Mike's around. Jimmy's I'm
gonna be honest.
Wouldn't hate it.
I have to give the audience some game here. The media about to put out a lot of stuff, and you know why they about to put out a lot of stuff? Because ain't nobody trying to watch or talk about the Browns right now. So people are trying to. So you're gonna hear stuff, right? I think that's why the whole JOK thing got out his hand. It's gotten like where people are like, "Oh my God, he might never play football again," off of very little information. Because people are like I notice it. I do a channel where I talk about the Browns almost 3 times a day. The interest isn't there like it usually is when the team isn't successful, right? Like the fan base is tuned out in a heavier way. So like some of this might be people tuning up and turning up the sensationalism on this whole thing because they want people to desperately tune back in, talk about the Browns. Some of this might be real, right? I think it's simple. Would they consider hiring Mike Vrabel if they fired Kevin? Absolutely. Would Mike Vrabel consider taking the job if they fired Kevin? I think so. I know people are like, he's had a front seat show to the mess that is the Haslam family. Hey man, he not stupid. He see it like we see it. He know the quarterback ass. Like, did he know why they like this? Like,
come on, man.
The thing about the season, the record sucks, but it hasn't been like we've dysfunctionally span our way out to this point. it's been pretty obvious how they got here. The quarterback stunk for the first 8 weeks. And then you got to this part of the season. The schedule's much harder. You're playing better teams. And yeah, you're playing better football offensively. But now you're playing better offenses. So it doesn't matter that you're playing better football offensively.
Mike's looking at this situation like this. Hey, man, we changed a couple things. I can come in here and turn this thing around. And then all of a sudden, I got great job security. All of a sudden, I'm the man that saves Cleveland Browns.
Don't let him get a Big Ten quarterback up in there.
Hometown hero. You know what I'm saying? Hometown hero. Say the Browns. Hometown kids say the Browns. They'll never fire me.
Let me tell you who he go draft. Cade Klubnik. Okay.
We might get Curtis. He might want Curtis. You know what I'm saying? He might want Curtis.
Curtis Work? No. Well, Curtis Work is big, right? Because he is 6'5".
He might want Curtis.
How big is Cade Klubnik? Real quick.
Like 6'2", I think.
6'2". He could move a little bit, right? Yeah, he 21. He ain't gonna have to convince Andrew Berry or nothing, dog. He gonna go after Cade. Okay. Cade Klubnik. Okay. Cade Klubnik and a running back. Okay. Let me tell you something. If Mike Vrabel takes this job, we are drafting Ashton Jeanty. Like 100%. Can you imagine Mike Vrabel like, we can have Nick Chubb and Ashton Jeanty? Oh, it is. It's going to be a quarterback and a bunch of big motherfuckers that play on the offensive side of the ball, right? We going straight. That's going to be the whole draft. No defense. Like, no. He going to bring over a bunch of like dudes who used to be in Tennessee to play linebacker. We're going to see Brian Arakpo. Al Shazier. Like, he going to be back here. Like, that's what he going to do for linebacker. JOK going to get back healthy. But let me tell you, we gonna be running that ball, play action, throw it on top of it. Like,
Jameis is gonna have the time of his life. Let me tell you.
I couldn't imagine those two in the locker room together, like vibing.
Jameis is going to have the time of his life with Mike Vrabel. I promise you.
You imagine being Cade Klubnik? Jameis out there like, let me tell you what being an ACC quarterback all about. Like,
oh my God. Oh Lord.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, if you hire Mike Vrabel, it wouldn't be that different than just having Kevin Stefanski anyways. Like, you'd be doing the exact same stuff. Jim Schwartz would probably be your defensive coordinator. Yeah, you wouldn't have Kevin running the offense, but it'd be somebody adjacent to what Kevin likes to do. That is the hilarious thing. Like, I promise you, they will be looking very similar to Kevin Stefanski. Like, just without Kevin. Which breaks the whole question, like, should you even do it if that's going to be the case? But you got to do something.
That is something.
Like you got to do something. And what's something you gonna do? You gonna hire who can you fire and replace most conveniently? I think we passed the point of firing the coordinator. And like the one coordinator you could fire, he ain't been doing the bad job. Right? Like the thing is, everybody's like, Ken Dorsey gonna get fired. Are we sure Ken Dorsey's the problem right now?
The Watson thing has muddied this thing so much where I can't even like blame it on him.
Hey, bro, in the perfect world, you just be able to fire Watson and get on with it because we know what the problem was. Fire Watson, replace the offensive line, see what you could do. Right? Upgrade the defense a little bit, sign a linebacker. In a perfect world, that's what you would do. But you just simply can't cut Watson, which means you can't throw him out as the dude you blaming for the season. So somebody else got to get blamed. Who gonna get blamed? Jimmy? Now that'd be a gangster move. But Jimmy was like, "Yeah, it's my fault. What you gonna do about it?" Well, are you gonna step down as owner? No. Like, my bad. Fucked up. I need an owner to do that one time.
Like, hey man,
hey, my bad.
Players fuck up sometimes. That is what it is.
Yeah. What do you think about the ramifications of this decision long term? Fucked up, man. Don't know what to tell you.
You ain't never made a mistake? You ain't never made a mistake before?
Hey, man, look. I'm a Christian, and I believe that God tells us that it's about how we repair from these situations, not that we make the mistake. So why are you so focused? Like, I got a plan.
We gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Like, do you realize what you've done? I'm sorry. My bad. Just hit the Kevin lines. We got to be better.
That includes me.
Hey, we got to be better. We got to take accountability at every level. Will you step down? We'll evaluate if that's the proper discourse to go away.
You know, Jimmy not gonna say that. He could be like, "Fuck no, I'm not gonna step down."
You're like, Jimmy, you gonna step down? Are you? Hey, that would be funny if somebody, because like no other place do you got to answer questions about losing your job at your job. Like that's kind of crazy. Like by people who don't work at your job. Like you imagine at your job, some outside person asking you, Cole, do you believe that you're being a positive enough member to this team to justify your salary? Like, bro, you know how fast I would fight somebody? The restraint that's being shown. Like, I would not somebody out here talk about my salary the way we talk about these athletes' salaries. Like, talking about, yeah, Cole should be reduced to no benefits. What? Like,
What?
Like, yo, I got bills. What you mean? Like, this is nuts. Am I not a human? Like,
Oh man.
I be thinking about that because like it's one thing when you be saying, yeah, this head coach needs to be fired. But hey dog, when people be out here trying to get position coaches fired, I'd be like, man, that's kind of grim. Like they not making that much money. Like if they lose that job, like that has serious repercussions. Like what if they bought a house? Like there's like levels to this. I feel like people are getting comfortable taking it. I'm like, hey man, that person makes maybe 80 grand a year. Like probably should have advocated for them to get fired and with the joy that you're doing that with, because it's kind of crazy. Like regular people's salaries. That's what makes talk about money in the WNBA so unfun, because it's like, hey man, like they don't got enough money to where they be fired, they be straight. Like if they don't got sponsors. We got super chats.
Oh, Curtis, what's up with the super chats?
Yeah, we got some super chats. We only got like one though.
The recession.
Yeah, we got one from Autistic Kid. He said, "We'll love Dewan taking that Josh Gordon leap." I don't know if that's.
Hey, brother, Josh Gordon never took a leap. He just was eligible to play. He was people forget his rookie year. He was hooping.
Man, I don't even know what the what did he do his rookie year?
I think he had like 800. Yeah, 805 in like 13 games.
Oh, no, he was hooping.
In 2012. You know who was throwing him the fucking ball in 2012?
Who was that?
Exactly. Okay. I believe it was Colt McCoy and others.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, in 2012, who started at quarterback for the Browns? My man had Brandon Whedon, Thad Lewis, and fucking Colt McCoy. 18.
Thad Lewis.
Yeah.
Thad Lewis, man. There's a name.
Thad Lewis. It did. Came back, played 14 games, 1,646. Hey, it's crazy because, like, you think about, like, George Pickens and how good he seems, and it's like Josh Gordon was so much better than George Pickens, like, that year.
Not even close. Not
Like,
even close.
1646.
Man, it's gonna be.
Brother, he didn't even do that on much targets, like 159 targets.
Listen, bro, it's gonna be difficult for us to explain to our kids how crazy Josh Gordon.
He had 87 receptions that averaged 19 yards per.
It's gonna be so crazy to explain that, man.
A success rate. Okay, a success rate of 49%. They just literally throw it up. You get a first down eventually.
It's just, he was so good. He was so good. Completely understand why everybody was just like, yeah, we gonna make sure we got this thing. We gonna make sure we keep him around forever.
Look, he in the second year, he made first team all pro. And then they gave him 6th place and comeback player of the year vote. And I'm like, see, that's how you could tell where our attitudes of marijuana were at the time. Right? Because if that same situation happened in 2025, oh, he would have won comeback player of the year. They'd have made it a whole thing about the unjust rules that the NFL has about the marijuana policy. But back then, people was like, well, you know, he smoked the weed. Like,
Weed wasn't even what did him in. That's the crazy part.
well, weeds what did him in the start. Like, we're talking about this part. The other stuff doesn't come in until 2014 and beyond, which the play falls off significantly after that. Right? That's when those substances get involved. But weed and alcohol was the first 2 years. Crazy. You know, it makes it even more impressive seeing how Deshaun Watson fell off a cliff and knowing that Josh Gordon had 700 yards after he missed 2 seasons. Like, entirely. Not just 2 seasons. 2 seasons in most of 2014.
Generational.
Hey.
Generational talent at the wide receiver position.
Hey.
Do you hear me?
Then he got suspended. Like, Josh Gordon for 2014 to 2017. He got suspended 5 games into 2014. Came back. Either got injured or suspended again in 2017. Came back, played for 2 teams, and had 700 yards in 2018. It's kind of insane. Then came back in 2018 again and had 720 with New England.
Special talent.
Mm-hmm.
Special talent.
It's going to be interesting to see how people talk about Deshaun Watson as a football player. Because, like, there was a time. Like,
I'm going to let you know right now, Q. I'm going to let you know right now.
It's going to be the most forgotten about MVP candidacy of all time.
I don't care what they say about that. I have nothing to say.
I hope he knows he can't come back here, right? Like once his contract is up, stay in Houston, brother. Stay in Houston. Don't ever come back up here. I hope you didn't buy a house. If you did, sell that shit. Please.
I don't care what
you are just it. I'd even say this is he better not come up here. I don't care if he comes back up here. I'm just saying the people ain't gonna want you back up here, bruh. Like, this ain't no Tim Couch thing where we would thank you later. Like, no.
There will be no understanding here.
He is to this new generation of football fans what Art Modell was to the last generation of football fans.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Like, they just go, like, if they need somebody to boo somebody at the free throw line at the Cavs game once he's gone, they just put up a picture of Deshaun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Good Lord.
It's going to be bad. Like, right now, I think there's still people, like, putting up with it because he's still technically here. Like, you got to be polite. But, boy, the day that news wire breaks that Deshaun Watson is no longer under contract for the Cleveland Browns, or you get the one news wire, the Browns putting Deshaun Watson on PUP for the whole year. That's interesting. Like, yeah, player unable, and he better not slip or nothing. The Browns would be like, yeah, this PUP, man. Like, yeah, we gotta put you on PUP the whole year. We don't want to activate you. I wonder how much they can play with that. Like to just straight up just not have him be on the roster while they let his contract expire. Then they do that with John Wall.
Think so?
Yeah, where it was like John Wall could play, but he not playing.
Oh man, it's all weird. It's all. I hate that we in this situation.
That's what I'm saying. Like they just need to put that thing in a mechanism, draft the quarterback. They need to do something to let us know they ain't going back to that, man. Like that's it. That's it. I think that's what the fan base needs. You just need to have a legitimate belief. It can't be no 5th round pick. You got to draft somebody in the first 3 rounds just so people could be like, all right, we're moving on.
If Mike Vrabel is the head coach of this football team next year, I guarantee he's going to let that be known. He's not going to be the starting quarterback.
You sure?
I'm positive. Have you ever seen Mike Vrabel?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Mike Vrabel press conferences? He 100% gonna make that clear.
Are we sure that he's just gonna be out on Watson though?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
This man hung on to Ryan Tannehill for a very long time, and
He won games with Ryan Tannehill, so I can understand that at least.
I don't know if I trust him. I don't know if he has earned
he
the trust.
won divisions with Ryan Tannehill. I get it. I can get that. Not this.
Hey, look, and this is a man who saw Deshaun Watson at his best, and he might still be thinking he's still that guy because he was in that division when Deshaun was cooking him.
Nah, this is a man who's seen Deshaun Watson, this version of Deshaun Watson. He's like, oh no.
The last time he was coaching, he coached against Deshaun Watson. That was the game that got him pretty much fired when Deshaun had like 230 on him. I'm just saying, there might be a chance that Mike Vrabel is just as delusional about this as somebody else. Like,
I would hope not.
That's what I'm saying. We're hoping that Mike Vrabel don't feel like this. I don't know if we know if that's how Mike Vrabel feel, because you know how much it'll break your heart if he get up there at that press conference. Oh, we're gonna work around Deshaun. He's the leader.
Like,
He's a man's man. He's playing through.
It's over. It's over. Curtis had to get off the. Immediately, dog.
Like, imagine if he actually says that. Like, you're gonna be furious.
It's over, man. I will tear up this T-shirt and never wear it again.
I'm not so sure that's not gonna happen.
Oh man!
Like, I think we look at Mike Vrabel and we ascribe to him all the things that we want to happen for the Browns, because that seems like where they're gonna go next. But I don't know if that's true. Like, nothing about Mike Vrabel suggests to me that he's gonna be super bold with this quarterback situation. And there's stuff to suggest that he might think Deshaun Watson can still be good. Maybe he the one who could fix it. Also, was in the room when they drafted Will Levis.
Ooh, forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Went out playing them too. Okay. That's all I need. I don't care who the coach is. As long as I get that, I think the fan base will be fine. And that's why I think that we are, right? Someone said John Wall re-injured himself falling down the stairs, so he was just perpetually hurt. Yeah, man, let me tell you, nobody praying for... Well, no, let me not put that out there. That's evil. All right? Like, nope. But yeah. Yeah, man. We'll see what the future is for the Browns. But I think if they don't make that move and they don't make it clear that they're distancing themselves from this Deshaun thing, which, to Andrew Berry's credit, did about as much as that as he could do. That press conference screamed, yeah, man, we moving on. like, that's the thing I got to ask you. Like, are we sure if we hire a new coach, we're moving on from the Watson era? Because I feel like there's enough reason to believe that the Stefanski Berry people will be like, yeah, we're moving on.
That Andrew Berry press conference, I believe he said, and I could be misquoting him, but I believe he said he considers himself the steward of this franchise in the short and long term. I believe that's what he said. I don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah, I think that's along the lines.
of what he said. And my only takeaway after hearing him say that, and I think I was talking about this with Andrew Spade on Blue Sky, that is a man who feels phenomenal about his job security. And that's what he said.
Hey, what if we find out Andrew Barry was the one dude like, nah, man, I'm good on this. What do we, and then we find out that's why Andrew Barry out here like, yeah, I know I ain't get fired.
The steward of this franchise for the present and the future, that is a man who knows he ain't getting fired.
Hey, and that's the man who he's telling you what's going on there. I know the Browns don't get a lot of credit for being transparent, but that is telling you exactly what's going on here, which means to say, hey man, I don't think Jimmy out here making these day-to-day decisions.
I don't think he is, bro. I do not believe Jimmy Haslam is as involved in this entire debacle as people want him to be. Yeah. I don't think it's that deep. I really don't.
Yeah, I think and honestly, this debacle is very simple. We know how we got here. Yes. We neglected the offensive line. We thought we had a quarterback. We thought we had an offensive line. Both of those things not only imploded, went to absolute shit. And now you're at where you're at. It's not difficult to figure out why you are where you are. Now, who you blame? Well, I was pounding the table to draft all kind of offensive linemen in this year's draft because I felt like this could be a possibility. Everybody else was on the, well, we got Bill Callahan thing. And I was like, man, Bill Callahan been folding with this offensive line too the last few years. But should have took some guys in the draft. But he's going to get away with it because this year's draft is not determined yet. So, and if you look at his other drafts, they're not that bad. Somebody was like, well, how do you factor in the fact that he traded for Deshaun Watson? We don't know how much he wanted to do that. It might be that was the move that got him the ultimate power and why he out here talking about I'm the steward, because Jimmy looked around and was like, that's the only one who told me not to do it. Kevin had the iPad of plays out. Like, that don't sound like a man who had to be forced to trade for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it's going to be funny to watch the revisionist history on that whole thing play out. We going to find out who did what when the season's over. Season's over.
I don't even think pushing for Deshaun Watson in the first place was a bad idea. That motherfucker who let him start past that Commanders game, though, like, hey, we got to have a conversation.
What did Kevin say?
Yeah. Best chance to win?
Best chance to win?
Listen, that tell me, man, we might still be watching Watson if he didn't tear his Achilles.
Nail in the coffin.
And like,
he gets fired,
the vibes are bad now, Colb. Could you imagine if we were watching Deshaun Watson still?
Man. More all 22 lives.
Dog, the all 22s would be boring. What I'm gonna say?
Oh, we just go crack jokes the whole time.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, all the jokes would have been made.
Could you imagine if he played that Chargers game? Could you imagine what that defense would have done?
Bro, I've seen this man get confused off of just basic looks. Imagine he out here trying to deconstruct that 6 that they run there. Like, man. Oh my God. Man, I don't know. Part of me is like, maybe he should have played so we could have just been like, yeah, okay, this is it. This is the problem. Right? Just get it out of our system. Right? Because what I'm worried about is that we still got some Watson in our system internally on this franchise. I'm like, if we got Watson on our system, bro, we could get, I will contend this, and maybe I'm being optimistic. You can get out of this if you just admit it's over now. There is a path to getting out of this and being free by 2027. Right? There is a way to maintain something here if you're the Cleveland Browns and not let Watson's failures destroy this franchise. If you just do it now. But boy, if you start letting this shit drag on, if you say to yourself, we're not going to draft somebody here because we want to make sure Watson don't Desmond Ridder yourself. Okay. Don't do that. You don't have a quarterback. Please operate like you don't have a quarterback. I swear to God, Cove, I see them operate like they got a quarterback, I'm about to slap the shit out of somebody.
Pray for somebody in Atlanta.
Huh?
I was just saying, pray for somebody in Atlanta if they're.
Hey, bro, like if I see them operate like they got a franchise quarterback, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Everybody's about to get fired again. Because, like, it don't matter who they hire. If they double down on Deshaun Watson again, everybody that they hire is going to get fired again.
Yeah, that's why I think that's another reason why I think if Mike Vrabel takes the job, he's 100% out on Deshaun. He's like, nah, y'all not about to hire me to fire me.
But the question is, if you just about to move on from Deshaun Watson to begin with, why are we firing Kevin for that? Logically speaking, like if the internal analysis is, yeah, we know what went wrong, are we just firing Kevin to fire him? Like, unless the analysis isn't that, and if the analysis isn't that, Colb, I think that's even more concerning.
There's also a possibility that the analysis could be, this is Deshaun Watson's fault, and we've lost a little bit of confidence in Kevin going forward.
Yeah, but like that's just not equal enough. Okay,
I'm just saying they might not view it as it's either we blaming it on Kevin or we blaming it on Deshaun. They might be like, hey, we might be blaming it on both of them.
All right, here's what I'm saying. If my house burnt down and I left the candle on in my bedroom, like a little scented candle, but you know what else I did? I left the oven on and then I lit a match inside the oven. Are we gonna blame the candle just as much as we blame what I fucking did with the oven?
No.
I'm sure the candle didn't help. But the house wasn't gonna burn down because I lit the scented candle, right? The house burnt down because I lit the gas flame. Like, that's what happened. And that's what I'm saying with this Deshaun Watson thing. Like, yeah, did Kevin do some things wrong? Sure. But I don't feel like that's why we here.
We opened up this whole thing by saying there's not a coach.
That's the tough part. It's such a conundrum.
That survives going 2 for 15. And I'm telling you, they are staring down 2 and 15 right now.
That is the conundrum that we are at with this podcast. The Browns are at a place where most coaches don't survive unless there is extenuating circumstance. The question is, will Watson be an extenuating circumstance? And what is the ramifications for that if he is deemed an extenuating circumstance and that saves Kevin? And what's the circumstance if he's not?
Listen, we might be in a situation where they like, we got to get rid of both of these dudes. I
wouldn't blame them if they just like decided, hey, bro, we gonna keep Miles, the dudes under contract. We gonna let everybody go, and we changing the fucking team name. Like, we the Sharks now. Fuck it.
The Brook Park Browns not good enough.
Brook Park Sharks. Yeah, the Brook Park Sharks.
Brook Park Sharks.
Yeah. The Brook Park Tigers. Fuck it.
Right, the Bengals and the Tigers in this division.
Yeah, rivalry right there. Natural rivalry. You know? The Steelers. We could name ourselves the Landlords. Fuck it. You know, just like
the Brook Park Landlords?
Just be the most unlikable team naturally.
Oh man. God,
yeah,
I don't want to watch this game on Thursday.
This is why I say, man, everybody acting like this shit's simple. It simply is not.
Oh Lord.
But let's go Cavs, baby.
Let them know.
Let them know,
y'all.
Let them know, man. Let them know. Look, if the Cavs win on Tuesday and they continue to win, we got to add Tony Pesto on the show next week.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Tony, man. But we got anything else we got to say?
Shout out to everybody who watched. Shout out to everybody who still watched, despite the Browns being terrible. We appreciate you.
We appreciate your continued support.
Yeah, man. We know it's not the easiest to talk about these motherfuckers. or to listen to somebody talk about these motherfuckers.
Hey, Nate, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know if we rocking with this shout out right now.
Shout out all my landlords out there. Hashtag private property.
What?
Man, you should have said shout out gated community. Hashtag gated community.
My man, shouting out the landlords. Like,
man,
tip your landlords, right? Like,
we might have gotten some fans we didn't intend to get.
oh my goodness, what is going on? Like,
man, we got landlords who watch the show.
I'm sure we do. Like, I'm sure we have people who watch the show who own a property that they rent out. But like a straight up, like, yeah, I got 12 properties, like landlorded, like that's kind of crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with renting out a property that you own if you could have it. Like, okay, yeah, you know, as long as you take care of it, treat the people in there humanely, ain't nobody tripping on that. But I don't know, man. You got like 12 units. That's kind of crazy. Like,
man, get your money, man. I ain't hating.
No, I'm absolutely hating.
See, that's why people call you hating.
Bro, have you seen rent prices?
See, yes, I have.
I was like, that's why I don't live in Cleveland. The rent was just as high as it was in Atlanta. I'm like, well, like,
let me tell you something.
No, that rent is crazy.
I'm considering a move at this point.
Hey, bro, like, it shouldn't be this expensive to live in Cleveland. Like, no, lower the prices, bro. Like, all right, my man, talk about bringing down housing restrictions. I'm like, all right, yeah, I've lived in a house that didn't follow regulations. You don't want that. Like, that's a whole different conversation. But what's this one right here?
Still Toe community is not feeling it.
We shout out the garbage man and the steel toe workers, brother. You can't be out here coming for the landlord. Like, you the enemy, man. Like, what you doing?
It's a very conflicted podcast community. Hold on.
America, baby. All right. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day, man. Shout out to the steel toe workers, the garbage man, everybody else that helps keep society going.
Shout out the unions, man. Shout out the unions.
And shout out to our grocery store workers. You know, like, hey, look, we talk about jobs all the time that if they don't show up to work, it gets dicey, right? Let there be a garbage strike and a grocery store strike at the same time in your neighborhood. Might never want to live there again. Like,
rough.
Woo. We appreciate everybody for rocking with us, man. We know that the Browns aren't the funnest thing to talk about, but we try to make it a little fun, right? We get some laughs in, we get some joy in, and also get to talk about some other things going on around the league. Curtis, bring your ass up on the screen, man. Come on, let's give Curtis a shout out. Let's clap it up for Curtis. Curtis, don't make me bring you up here, bro. Bring yourself up here. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? You know what, Curtis? Maybe for Christmas, I might give you a webcam so we're not always getting iPad angles from you. Like,
I on my iPad, man.
Yeah, we just always get the iPad angle from you. I would like to get a more straight on angle from you, you know? Maybe a microphone. I guess, huh?
I'm working on it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you say he working on it.
Okay. My man Curtis hustling. What you doing? You selling drugs?
Oh, right.
Hey.
Okay.
You talking about me selling drugs? You look like dope man right now, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh.
Man, that's crazy. I just found out Curtis Zell don't work no more. That's nuts.
Hey,
That's crazy. Just now.
Dang, Curtis.
Damn, you sound look like a crackhead.
He didn't even deny it.
That's how you feel, Curtis? We're gonna talk about so much Colorado football.
What, next week?
Oh yeah, all Colorado football. Can't escape. Okay.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I'm just talking about getting you a webcam, letting you get a more stable setup. Man called me a crackhead. Unbelievable. What do you have to say for yourself, Curtis?
Curtis not even paying attention. Oh man.
Try to help the youth. But seriously though, thank Curtis for his work behind the scenes. I know Curtis works hard, very hard there for the show here. Cole, who do you have to thank?
Man, shout out to all the supporters. Shout out to everybody on Blue Sky, man. Shout out to everybody on Blue Sky. We love y'all. Yep. We love our little community over there. Shout out Steel Toe Gang. Shout out all the drivers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody who works in the medical field. We appreciate y'all and all the work that you do. I think. Oh, shout out the anime community. Always. God knew he was gonna do that. Shout out the gamers. You know what I'm saying? And shout out all the Cleveland fans, man. Shout out all the Cleveland fans. Yep. Oh, yeah. Think about that one.
All of the Cleveland fans?
Shout out the Cleveland.
You cool with all the Cleveland fans, Cole?
I'm not cool with everybody, no. But we all root for the same teams. It is what it is.
Are we? Like, it don't feel like it sometimes.
It don't feel like it sometimes, but we are.
It's all good. It's all good. But thank y'all for showing up, man. Appreciate everybody from behind the scenes that helps us out. I got a text from Greg too. We're gonna figure out how we get this thing on audio, hopefully. But everybody else, y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace, anime gamers. We get a double negative. Okay. End of that.